All right, we back. Sorry about that, everybody. The connection kind of messed up. Everybody's gonna come into this one, but I'm gonna continue as everybody fill back up in the room. When we go through this aspect, when we go into this space, when we go into this thought process, when we go into these actions of ourselves, we have to be able to question everything. That is going to be your major key. The major key is going to be questioning everything. Those original axioms or those original linear points that we used to sustain to, we used to cling to, we used to be always for and about. Those original points of ourselves, as I share this new link, I had to go through and reset everything, but that's okay. That's what we're supposed to be doing. But as we go into this new space for ourselves, I say, we back in it. We back in. I'm looking for it. Okay, I'm right here. This is live. This the live one. No, that ain't it. Do. But as we're taking ourselves into this new aspect of ourselves, that main key, that ever so precious motherfucking key, is going to be looking and questioning everything about ourselves. It's not going to be this. It's not going to be this. And this is going to be that main important part in you being able to let go. It's going to be that main important part in you letting go and understanding yourself and actually being able to be free to actually have that true liberation of yourself is looking at everything. So when we're doing our programming, reprogramming our mind based on the intellectual part, people are like, I'm in there, I'm doing this, I'm awake, I'm conscious, I'm in that move. This is me now. I'm making my move, I'm saying what I need to be saying, doing what I need to be doing. This becomes your thought process, but none of that shit's going to matter. It doesn't matter. It would not matter how far I can get based on intellectual, because it's about that genius. Tapping into your genius is simply that aspect. By Bobby Hemmett said all the time, you simply wanting to know, that thirst to know. So if I'm empty, I can always be filled. If I understand that I'm empty, that first wave, I know I have to become empty. What are the things I have to empty out of myself? What are the things that it doesn't seem to no matter what I'm doing, I'm never right in the right space at the right time. I'm not in the right place. I'm not in the right mind. I'm not where I want to be. I'm not where I need to be. I feel like I'm lost. I feel that aspect of your mindset, that's the negative self-talk of the sabotage. Because you're going to have individuals that are going to be in your life. You're going to have those individuals that are going to hit in your life in that space that can give you the false expectation based upon your identity, based upon your ego, based upon how they've seen you, how they know you. They're going to give you, they can literally give you this aspect and thought in your mind that hope narrative that we get into, we have to digest. That hoping aspect. You can do anything that you want. All you gotta do is put your mind to it. But even as we're doing this also goes into the aspect we're getting deep into tonight. When you're listening to information, when you're taking in new information, and you're taking it from all these sources, you're taking it without the emotional aspect. You're taking it without the emotional aspect. There's certain shit you got to just fucking let go. And by letting it go, when I say let it go, I mean you put it in front of you and you actually look at it. You study it. You actually study it. You study it based on the transparency. I can use an example of, imagine if you were sitting there and you and your chick going through it, you and your girl going through it, your lady, you and your man going through it, you and your lady going through it, whichever it may be, are going through it, and then you give information to your friends. They're going to give you information based on your identity. They're going to give you information based on your identity. They're going to give you that information based on that identity, and by them saying this is how this happens, and this is how it should be. They cannot tell you how something's supposed to be within your path. They cannot tell you something coming at you based on your reflection, based on something that you got to learn, because it's not for them to give you that aspect of information. This is based on that emotional rhythm, that emotional aspect. They're going to keep giving you that same placebo, but it's actually the nocebo pill. They don't keep giving you that same nocebo pill of negative that's feeding into your negative aspects. If it's within you, that's how it resonates. Challenging those axioms, being honest with yourself, that super sense of fucking transparency and being honest with yourself. Because when you set that tone, when you set that point and say, niggas ain't shit. And then you get a nigga that is doing things. You're getting a guy that's doing things that ain't never been done. He's doing things for me. He's taking me places. He's showing me things. He's teaching me things. You got to address that original axiom. You've got that original axiom that you put into play. You're still activating, or you're still within your little realm of looking for something. Because as you're saying it as if that's why it's always important to make shit normal. Like when we're doing our shit, when we're in our higher self, we're making this shit normal. This is your normal. You surround yourself with your shit, but it's not going to be based upon that sentimental value. There's a difference between attachment and connection. When you get attached to things, like me being attached to this cane, then it breaks, and I get mad. Oh my God, I go to the store, I'll go and get another fucking cane. Because I understand that this is here for a point. That I understand I have this for a reason. There's a reason behind me having this cane. It's not just because it looks cool and it got skulls on it. So I'm not trying to perpetuate an image. This is me. That's one of those key aspects of being honest with yourself. Why are you doing things? Is it based upon sustaining that image? Is it based upon sustaining one of those eyes within yourself? Or are you actually doing it because that is something that resonates truly with your power? How are you invoking? How are you moving? How are you healing yourself? These are major fucking keys. You can't do anything. Let me make this a perfectly clear line. You can do anything that you want in that aspect. You can do anything that you want. You can do anything that you may want with your free will. But there's going to be two sides of the line that you are on. If you are doing things based on the lower aspect of that line, and that's why I always use this. Where the hell my book go? That's why I always refer to this book as one of the many aspects to break down things. Your companion to yourself, acknowledging those eyes, knowing what side of the line you're on. Understanding what aspect of this line that I'm on. Am I willing to cross this boundary? Am I willing to create within my mind a scenario where I become the victor? Am I willing to create in my mind the scenario first that I'm getting knocked the fuck off? I'm getting knocked down. Then to recreate that same scenario where I become the victor. Am I willing to play this type of mental aspect in my life, in my mind? Playing this out in my mind over and over and over again, because you do it unconsciously based on overthinking. Everything that you do everything that you're doing, you're switching from. Everything that you're doing, you're switching from this aspect of it's becoming based upon an imbalance to you coming into balance. So the question, one of the question that was been a question that was asked to me was, and I've had several of my clients, people ask me this question on that. Can't you just go and repress some shit? Like, can you just not deal with it? you can get pretty fucking far intellectually in the aspect with power, with your energy and shit. But there's always going to be this thing pulling you back. There's always going to be something pulling you back. That's going to be that tether that's linking to that needing and wanting for something, needing and wanting to be fulfilled. That's always going to be that tether that your ego and your identity is always going to use as that point in the back of your mind and use that to its fullest extent. That's going to keep you from actually achieving your ego death. It is many fucking ego deaths. It ain't just one, it's many fucking ego deaths. But you're taking yourself into this mindset and going forward. You're challenging yourself to go forward. You're challenging yourself to become better. This is your challenge to you. As I'm going in here right now, pressing buttons, I'm sending things out. Okay, cool. People are coming back in. Put that down like that. I'm going to share this like this. I'm going to go to direct on the IG tip. I'm going to press this button, this button, this button. I have to send them. He's already back in. All right, bro's back in. Send it here, send it here. Send it back here. Send it back through here. Send it here. All right, cool. I've sent it and locked it back into everybody. Everybody should be flowing back in. But when you're taking yourself into this mindset, you're not looking for an external factor to keep you in control. You're not looking, you're shifting into the true aspect of you. Anything outside of you shifting into the true aspects of you, you're trying to escape something. You're trying to escape your fucking work. You have to do this work. If you are going to come to this level, greeting. Everything that led you up to this point is for that reason. As you're shifting yourself out of this mindset of attaching to your identity, because your identity what you attach to, the Black Lives Matter, the social club, this whatever social club you want to join, all of these aspects, you're just giving yourself something else that you're attaching to. In order, you're going to be here, you're going to suffer more than you're actually going to feel liberated. So you can't even align in the shit that you need to align into. What I said in the other part before we got cut off. Think about the aspect of people right now can literally, you can buy songs, you can buy shares in songs and music of your favorite artist right now. That's a digital move. You can now use the traditional aspect no longer plays out. The traditional aspect no longer plays out. The understanding of the traditional is your key. That's the intellectual aspect. So once I understand how something works and the rhythm of how something works, I can now go into that linear process. But in order to get to this linear process, those new lines, I have to address my original axioms that I put into play. Black people are this, white people are this, Asian people are this, these people are this. Because as long as I'm accepting these lines keep regurgitating or repeating themselves based on the energy that I give to them. Think about the behavioral aspect of how things have now diminished down to a certain level. Think about the 18-year-olds from 18 till about early 30s. We'll say 18 till about early 30s. Even some younger than that in that aspect. That line, that original line and process that the hoops and ladder aspect that had to be gone through. You got to be 16 to get a. I remember my first job when I was like 12 and 15 and 16. I remember I had to get this job. I remember I had to do this because we didn't have this. We're in a new space. You're in a whole new. You're still in the analog. A lot of the things that we have been shown or taught based in that aspect, that becomes the redundant aspects of information and knowledge. That's the new floor. From that floor, you build into your new genius, and then you tap into your new intelligence. What we have a habit of doing is we like to repeat the same shit over and over and over again, hoping that just because it was true at this certain point in time, doesn't mean that it's not any less true. It's just that it's become redundant based on the new information, that new energy, that new shift. So if you're still sitting here, if motherfuckers are still sitting there talking about arguing for hours upon hours on end, talking about voting and Trump and everything else in that narrative, you're missing your point. You're missing your chance. You're missing your chance to invest. The only thing Trump represents is an aspect of chaos, giving you exactly what the fuck you need so you don't want to fucking be here. I'm not in the mindset of wanting equality because equality is an attachment. I don't want equality. That's an attachment. I need to be connected with my true aspects of my own power. I'm trying to connect to my true aspects of my own self. I'm trying to raise that bar for myself so everything that's on that bar is within that energy, within that 5D frame. Arguing back and forth over things that are basically on an analog narrative any fucking way. Once you find out, I'm looking at something. Once you find out that once you can go look back in an old Oxford English dictionary that the definition of black and the definition of white, the old Axiom, and the shit was switched, what is the point to argue over it anymore? If you know and have the information, what is the point to argue based on the old concept? Because all you're going to get is whatever you get is going to be based upon the old concept. Battling for an economic plan when there is an entire digital platform, Forsage, Tron, Ethereum, all of these aspects, why wouldn't I go study that? That's more conducive to energy or digital. That's more conducive to energy. Let me get myself balanced into that. Let me learn that aspect. Let me learn the new shit. Let me get to the new thing. Meanwhile, on this other end, people are still saying we need banks and all of these aspects when most banks are online any fucking way. I don't go into a physical bank. So what is the point of me why would I we need to have our own banks? That's not really fucking going to do anything. Because you're going to build a bank in the same space or in the same place on the same line where the original trauma, the original shit happened to you. You're still going to be getting taxed by them anyway. So what is that aspect and point? You're still going to be giving them the only thing that you've been doing you're going to be repeating the same thing, trying to call it something else. They didn't steal anything from you in technical standpoint. If you look at just the Moore standpoint from Moore's, and they gave the custodians to the information, what can they really steal if you were created them for the aspect of being the custodians for the information? What can they really steal when their entire purpose is to make it so you don't want to be here? So what did they really steal from you? Other than you willingly give them your power. Because if you say that they're stealing from you, that's honesty. Where's the transparency? How do I stop them from stealing from me? That's like if I sat here and said I can't trust. That's like if I sat here and I said I can't trust somebody, but in my next sentence, I'm still going to be there in that space. It doesn't make sense. There's something I'm not being honest with myself about. That's what it boils down to. That's why that shit keeps reflecting, keeps blinking over there, because there's something about it I don't fucking understand yet. That's why it's there as a learning tool. Once you get past the aspect of needing and wanting, everything will come to your ass anyway. It's already your birthright. Everything that you want is your fucking birthright. In the golden age of aspect, what do you have right now that you're investing into this month, investing into this point in time? You want an economic plan. But what have you built? What have you created to have something to sustain at that table? That should be the question that you're asking yourself. You want to manifest abundance. You don't manifest abundance. You don't manifest prosperity. You don't manifest prosperity. You don't manifest wealth. You don't manifest abundance. These are aspects that are already you. What you are doing in truth is finding the things you're finding the aspects that are blocking or weakening this stream of energy that is your natural abundance, your natural wealth, your natural prosperity. Once you find those fucking blocks within those, once you address these points on that line, that power now becomes fully to you. That way you can actually conjure your energy. It's similar to like if right now, if I looked at, what time is it? It's 8:42. If I looked at 8:42, I can go to the information. If I go to 8:42 and one of the 7 numerology books that I own, if I go to 8:42 inside this book, if I go to 8:42 inside this book, take time to acknowledge the gifts and talents of your loved ones. They need your light and positivity at this time. I read that. Okay, cool. What does that mean for me? On the surface, oh, that means I need to start looking at my friends and family. I go look at my friends and family. Oh, my cousin want to be a rapper, or sister want to be a OnlyFans fucking model, or whatever it may be. Am I really going to invest into that? Then I have to question what the fuck is really my family? Because I understand family in that aspect, just by that definition, is the aspect of some supporting my growth. Simple definition for myself. So anything outside that's not supporting my growth is only related to me based upon me not supporting myself. So now I change the aspect to when I take that information in, that's the spiritual aspect of me taking the information in. When I invoke that new light into myself, and I'm finding my middle point, what comes up in that first wave, second wave, that wave that I got to deal with, it says support my family. Okay, cool. I go support my drug addicted cousin's idea, lose money, get mad. Did I ask the questions that I needed to ask? Did I do it based upon emotion? Or did I do it based upon the emotional standpoint of what that person is defined as? And I just took it like, okay, cool. That's family. That's family, man. You know, your family gonna fuck you over, blah, blah, blah. That's that nocebo negative aspect being put into your mind. Your family gonna fuck you up first. My tribe doesn't fuck me up. I got an entire fucking circle of individuals, of fucking entities, of gods that are around me that we bounce off information and have whole hour fucking conversations in a regular fucking basis. Peers, whether within the stuff that I do or whatever they're doing, we all interconnected. So my family don't do that. But at a point in time in my past self, when I was going through the aspects of shadow work, my family did that shit all the fucking time because it was already programmed into my mind that they were going to do it. Now if that axiom, that thought is true to that means I have to challenge that thought. Then what the fuck is my family? You're down here. There's certain aspects of motherfuckers that you're dealing with that they're not family in that aspect anyway. They're not family. They're not your family anyway. From that cousin that love you a little too much, that might be a girlfriend from like 6-7 fucking cycles ago. Your mother could have been your brother, your sister at another point in time. Your father could have been your brother at another point in time. So this is that questioning aspect of, if family fucks me over, and I keep that thought process in my mind, family fucks me over, family is always going to fuck me over and fuck me up and keep me fucking from getting where I need to get to and shit, then every time that I think about the aspect of someone even telling me what's up, family, peace, someone even just telling me the aspect of like, someone that's giving me the simple nod, like, yo, my family's always there for me, my family's always supportive of me, what am I naturally going to do? What's the natural emotional response most niggas are gonna do? Man, my family ain't shit. More negative aspects to feed into your environment. More negative aspects for your ass to attach to. More work that you're giving to yourself because you're not acknowledging what the fuck you're getting from that aspect. If someone tells me that my family supports me and everything that I do and da-da-da-da, without the emotional aspect of, man, must be nice and all this shit, trying to look for an answer, I'm naturally going to ask the question like, yo, so I'm going to ask how does your family support you? What does your family support you with? Yo, man, your family sound fucking, yo, big up for you. I'm going to big up them because apparently they found something that I haven't found yet. Something inside them they have accepted, whether it's consciously or unconsciously, doesn't matter. But something in them they have accepted in order for them to be able to make that statement, live by that statement, live within that space. When we're looking into information based on that same thought process, remember, you're studying all and following none. That is the main fucking key. You study all and follow none. This changes your mindset based on, I don't want to see the 18 to 30-year-olds, this new wave of motherfuckers. You can't say these things in this space, because if I sit here and say that, if I acknowledge it to bring a solution, there's a difference between me acknowledging it to just say it to make it sound like I was said, like, yeah, so everybody can agree to it, or am I going to say something that's going to challenge the thought process of why? I'm always going to have that thirst to ask why. Remember, think about when you were little and you asked 9,000 fucking questions to your mother, 9,000 questions to your father, or whatever mother or paternal figure was in your life, grandma, whoever it may be. Think about asking those aspects of those questions. When did you stop asking those questions? For some of us, for that, we'll say in a general aspect, a lot of us, we stop asking those questions when we were given these blanketed axiom ass fucking answers, such as, you'll know when you've grown. Because that know when you're grown translated into, when it came time for you to give your kids some fucking truth, I don't think they're going to understand it. Why would you tell them that? You lost your innocence. You lost your transparency. You lost the honesty with yourself. You lost the ability to be honest with yourself. You got to be totally motherfucking transparent to even deal with any of this in the first place. You got to have transparency with yourself. But if my mind is stuck in in an analog position that something is going to hurt me or something is my devil, the demon, the whatever it may be, that's what I'm going to keep streaming into my life because I'm creating my fucking environment as I'm in real fucking time. I'm looking at shit in that fucking narrative. So I keep creating and I'm like, man, why can't I get ahead? Why can't I get this? Why can't I get this money? Why can't I do this? What is your original self invest? What is your identity invested in? What is it filtering through? What is your thought? What are your thoughts filtering through before they even get to your subconscious? That is one of the biggest fucking things that used to irritate the shit out of me in beginning works because I was trying to make people see what was in here. But I was in a space. I was trying to make motherfuckers see what was in here, see what was in my mind, but it was based upon my identity. It was based upon my ego. I wanted them to see what I saw for acceptance, the expectancy. I was expecting others to see what I fucking saw only so I could stay within that space. That's what a lot of people do when we think about this fucking equality fucking bullshit and unifying in the human narrative. How can I unify in something that's inherently flawed? How can you unify in something that is inherently flawed? Why would I unify inside of a prison? Why would I lock my mind inside of a fucking prison and close my mind off and say, this is me because this is what we're supposed to do because we black people? As I look for my fucking lighter at the close. And there goes that. Go back. Oh, there it is. Sorry. This is that thought process that's going to stop you from actually being able to do anything on the higher levels of yourself anyway. Aligning your energy to higher level shit. Potential. It's cool to have the aspects of traditional because understanding the aspects of traditional gives you that floor in order for you to actually do the things that you need to do to be the true creator, to be the true creator of your fucking reality, everything that you want to sustain. But at a point in time, you have to build upon those. You have to build something, and you're not stop. We have to stop trying to go back to say. We have to stop trying to go back to say, when the world is ours again, when the earth is ours again, why the fuck do you want the prison? Why do you want the prison? That shit blows my fucking mind. When a motherfucker says, yo, we're fighting for our city, we fighting for our town, we fighting for our shit back. Why the fuck would I want the prison? I have to get that aspect out of my mind so I can build something different. Because until you remove that from your thought process and actually champion and step on top of that shit, you're only going to be always downtrodden and self-sabotaging and locking yourself back down and attaching to some dumbass shit. You always going to attach to some shit that's not really doing anything. Why would I want to be in a space and build inside of a space when it was built upon based on what it was originally built upon, based upon my emotional imbalances anyway? It's built off of my old energy. It's built off of my old self. Why would I want reflections of my old self around me and then say in the same sentence that I want to fucking grow? Why would I love when motherfuckers say I've changed. I love when motherfuckers say I've changed. I love when motherfuckers say I've changed. I love when, yo, you different. You ain't the same. You just different now. I love that shit. That shit's great. It is not based on a fucking ego. This is based off of like, it's basically like duh moments, or it's reinforcing or revalidating me. I'm not looking for something outside of myself to tell me something about I'm not looking for something. I'm not in the need or the want for something outside of me to tell me something about myself that I already know. But I am humble to that response. Since I'm open to that space, I'm humble to that response. I'm not looking at it from what you want. I'm not looking at it from the what you want aspect. There's no malice into it. I can actually see things. You become more intuitive. The more open that you become that when you're doing that work to yourself, that shadow work for yourself, the more open you become, the more intuitive that you're able to lay out and actually be in a state of productivity. You actually can be productive. You actually can be proactive. The main aspect of productivity is pro. That leads to proactivity. Most people are in a reactive state. That means I'm only doing things based on this reactive narrative. That means I'm only doing things in reaction to something. That means I only can set myself up into this space only when I'm challenged to do so. Why aren't you challenging yourself? Every single day, every single motherfucking day is only a reflection of the day before it, for it. So if I'm not doing what I need to do today, that means damn sure I'm not going to do what I need to do tomorrow, because I'm always going to find a reason to not do it. If I found a reason here, then of course my ego is going to make me find another reason. Man, I was gonna go over there. I mean, I was gonna read that book. I was gonna watch that investment video. I was gonna do this. And then you wonder why you go through an entire year and you didn't do anything. But you feel like, man, I'm always running around and I'm doing that, man. I'm working, I'm doing all this stuff. Everything you're doing is based upon reaction. You need to keep your rent paid. You need to keep your lights on. So now you reacting. So you'll never get ahead because you're always behind on something else in an external state. You keeping something in your life, like motherfuckers right now are keeping shit in their fucking life that's really not helping them fucking grow. But based upon the original definition that they accepted, that's why they keep doing the same fucking shit. Based on that original definition, that original trauma, the original aspect of trauma that happened in their life that set the tone for what they're doing now, because they can't challenge it. Because they have that fear in the aspect of challenge it. They don't have the understanding in order to challenge it. They're not willing to, you haven't came into the interface of understanding that the information that you took in, you're sustaining this reality, you're sustaining this space. What is it really fucking doing for you? That's honesty for yourself. That's honesty. That's the transparency. Your repetition. If you're actively seeking, if you're actively moving based on trauma, if you're actively moving based upon trauma, then everything you will do will be fundamentally centered around that aspect of trauma. That whatever trauma it may be, trauma or traumas, whatever original axioms that were built upon the trauma. So if I sit here and I say, yo, I came from struggle and I'm tired of being oppressed and I came from struggle, but I'm still in a fucking mindset where I'm still in this traditional mindset of looking for the reasons that I've been through, looking for the reasons that I'm struggled, that I came from struggle to say, see, yeah, we've been struggling and oppressed for 450 years, 500 years. It ain't been that long since we've been out of fucking oppression. It ain't been that long since we've been out of fucking. It ain't been that long since we've been out of the fucking struggle. The moment that they admit it, what the fuck do they need to admit if you have the information that is true? If you have the information, you have everything you need in front of you. What's stopping you? Honesty for yourself. The transparency to have fucking honesty with yourself. Allowing yourself to shoot yourself in the fucking head a couple times. That's gonna be the realest shit that you're gonna have to fucking do. Stop externalizing your issues and basically Stop this aspect of emancipating your trauma onto others. Most relationships within this space are based upon emancipating a trauma onto another individual. I'm gonna sign this contract. You got to make me happy. You got to do this. I got to get this, this, and this. That's not what the fuck that was defined for. You mad at your job because they don't fucking give you enough hours. That's not what it was fucking designed for. Your job was not designed for your ass to do the extra shit that you do in any fucking way. But since you do not want to, something inside you, since your job is not giving you what the fuck you need, the fuck are you not giving yourself? The fuck are you not giving yourself? My job ain't give me a raise. How are you raising yourself? My job didn't give me that promotion. How are you promoting yourself? My job always got this bad sense of energy within it. What bad energies, what negative aspects are inside of you tethered to that energy? Because it's not going to resonate with you if it's not within you, if you dealt with it. If you've not brought yourself into that aspect of fucking balance, then of course you're going to keep going into the nocebo effect anyway. It doesn't matter what you do. You're always going to be looking for something negative. You looking for the negative aspect to pop up. You're sitting there in wait and you say white people are fucking evil. Why? When if you read Dirt or any of the other creation stories, even down to the fucking Bible, they all have the same creation story about them being created and what they were created for and the mistake that it was. So now you're sitting here 400, 500 years later, but us stay in that little context of motherfucking spirit face of time. You're sitting here in this moment and you're still upset because they're doing exactly what the fuck they're supposed to do. You're upset with your job for doing what the fuck it's supposed to do. You're upset with the nigga that you've been with forever for doing the same thing that he started in the beginning. You mad at your chick because she's doing the same shit that she did before? Because you feel you have a lack of control because you're searching for control. But control is the aspect of identity based on fear or lack of understanding. The less that this thing understands, the more control I can have over it. But the more power that I get in tune with myself intimately with my power, the more natural my shit gonna flow. I ain't gotta worry about shit. I'm worried about these old definitions and narratives. I'm battling these old points based upon emotions. Why the fuck am I gonna battle old points based upon emotions? I refuse to sit there in any space with anybody and argue, debate, go back and forth with somebody on an emotional platform. I'm not going. Why? Why would I subject myself to that aspect? That's not what a God does. That's not what a fucking chaos being does. That's not how I can feed from it. I know how to feed from it. But it's not going to be sustainable information for me. It's not going to be food. It's not going to be as on back when you look at Black Butler, it's not going to be a sustainable soul for me to ingest. So why would I even want to do it? I don't need that aspect of control. My life is straight fucking placebo effect. My whole fucking life switched from the aspect of the nocebo effect of no matter what I was doing, my shit kept coming out bad. And it was every time I was sitting in a position, somebody would give me some words, and there was words that my grandmother have said to me, my pops have said to me, people have said to me in my life, yo, man, you just got to do this, man. You're going to be all right, man. You just got to wish for the best and hope for this. That hope word was the shit The hope word was the buzzword that made that shit not implanted to my mind. I had to be honest with myself on that shit. For a lot of us in that aspect, that hope is the buzzword that keeps a lot of shit from actually imputing into your mind. That hope aspect, that wishing aspect, that those trigger words that you fall for. Those trigger words are the axioms that leave that shit from actually, that keep it from streaming inside your ass. And it keeps it going back out. It makes sure that shit goes in and it goes right back out. And it just goes through you. As long as I sit here and I hope, as long as I'm hoping for equality and change, as long as I'm hoping for an constant, for an inherent constant, it's gonna happen. How the fuck am I gonna hope for an inherent constant? How does that variable even work? How does that variable even work? How does the variable of me saying I hope for an inherent constant work? How does that do anything? It's always going to produce some type of change because the change is that's going to be produced. That's 0 plus 1 equals 1. Or in the higher aspect, that's 0 times 1 equals 0. Because it's not multiplying anything. I'm not multiplying anything through that fucking formula. This goes into the aspect of falling back into old patterns and repetitious acts. This goes back into the aspect of falling back into repetitious or old acts. You're always going to go, remember that spiral effect we always talk about. That spiral effect. You get to a certain point in your life, everything's going great. Everything's going the way that you're saying that it should have went. You're happy, you're excited, everything's falling into place. Most of the times when shit's falling into place, that shit's already been matriculated anyway. It took that long to get there anyway, based on what it had to go through anyway. That's why you get this false illusion. You get that false illusion that as long as I'm sitting here that's why somebody can sit somebody and work somewhere for 30 fucking years. 30 fucking years. And get everything that they fucking need. I remember there is at the last restaurant that I ever worked at, there was a cook that worked there since he was like 16. Nigga was like 37. He's like 37, 38 now. He been there for like 28 years. 28 fucking years. Everything was fine and dandy. He was the it guy and all of these aspects and shit. Until Mr. fucking Chaos himself, Lucifer, came into the fucking picture. And this even before I even took on that my full spiritual name of even realizing that I was fucking Lucifer. Anyway, when I got in there, all the shit that the only reason he was looking like he was the fucking best was because no one around him was actually putting in any fucking work. So, of course, he looked like he was the best because nobody was putting in any fucking work. And he was feeding off of that aspect, whether constantly or unconsciously doesn't fucking matter. He was feeding off of that aspect. He knew they would have him stay late. They knew he had the standard schedule. He had the standard aspect of a schedule. Came in there every fucking day, did his work. Came in there at fucking in the morning and left. But there was shit he wasn't doing. My ass coming in, then I start getting some of them shifts. I'm like, yo, nigga, when the last time this been clean or this been clean? And then the managers are looking at me like, he really ain't been doing nothing. Why did it change? What changed it? The new instrument of chaos was me. When you come online, unconsciously or indirectly or directly, motherfuckers around you will know that you have advanced, that you have came online. It's not based on the tune of, it's not going to be based on this tune. So we're not going back and forth. That back and forth aspect is based upon your energy. When people come into your life, it's based upon your energy. Whether you know it or not, it's based upon your energy. Yo, I just get a good vibe from you, man. You just cool as fuck. But they're basing it on your image. So they're going to look at you, but it's all this shit's fucking energy. So they're coming at you from the aspect of your energy. So when you're looking at the narcissistic aspect, physical manifestation of a narcissist, the physical manifestation of a motherfucking gold digger, whatever it may be, we'll use gold digger first. When we use the aspect of a gold digger, the gold digger archetype, you have energy, you have an abundance of energy, you have an ability to gain a lot of energy. Remember, we're taking this shit up. We're not in that 3D shit. You have an abundance to obtain a lot of fucking energy. This individual does not know how to obtain or charge their own energy. They don't know how to do it, or they don't want to. It's easier to do it from you. So when you're looking at individuals in your life, your family members, quote unquote, your family members, the original family members, they are your original gold diggers. They're going to be the gold digger archetypes in your life based upon energy. We're not talking about money. We're talking about your energy. So you can be going into a good space. You can go around good individuals. You can be around motherfuckers that are actually giving you the fucking game every fucking day. But if you're going back around individuals that are not used to that, you just become the smartest dummy in the fucking room. The longer that you stay there, be honest with your fucking self, you're becoming the smartest dumbass in that fucking room. Because now you got some information, but now you're building some aspects for yourself. And now you're stuck in this little linear box that you created around yourself to stay inside that space. I've seen on both ends. I've seen brothers that are within the nation do some awesome shit. But I've also seen the lower aspect niggas still stuck in the original shits. They just like the argument. They just like to say that that's what they are because it gives them some type of credibility based on their image. I've seen both sides of the spectrum of Moors throughout my studies. I've seen Moorish brothers that are still stuck in that aspect of saying, this is what I have. And then I've seen others that have expounded past the original barrier of bar where the fuck they were at. Studying all and following none. Being able to set myself in a position to be able to obtain that information from every point. It was like when back in the day when everybody was talking about Brother Pro-Light was a fucking 1 second. That's like when everybody back in the day was talking about, yo, Pro-Light's a fucking thief and a scam artist and all that shit. But I'm looking at, and I remember I think like a couple of times, I'm listening to the debates with Brother Pro-Light, and I'm like, in the aspect of study, I hear his tones. I can extract certain information, but at other times I can see where the ego is overriding. I can see where the ego is overriding it. But that does not mean that I cannot take information that he does produce, that he does bring out, whether it's regurgitate or whatever it is. That does not mean that I cannot take information from that space and actually use it for my own gain. I don't have to follow the entire aspect of this individual, but I can take information from that space. I can look and be like, okay, cool. I'm feeling that. I like that. I like what the fuck he's saying. I'm not attached to that to be like, oh yeah, man, yeah, no. Cause there was shit that young Pharaoh would say, and I'd be like, ooh. But then I've listened to young Pharaoh's recent videos, and it's an entirely different thought process. Not choosing a side. I just know when there's good information to be heard. I just know when there's a key concept that can be heard within inside of a space. That's the mindset when you're going into your space, but you can't do that based upon emotion. When you move in emotionally, when you're moving through this shit in an emotional manner, you're allowing your emotions to get fucking hit up, and you're allowing your balance to be overridden. So now you become an imbalance and going into spaces and getting angry and getting irritated. That's the spiritual attack. That's the spiritual aspect of the spiritual attack, the shit that's attacking you. It's your own identity. It's your own ego attacking you in the form of something outside of you in reflection. So you're looking for an enemy. You're always going to find the enemy naturally. If I'm looking to be broke, I'm going to be broke. If I'm looking to become wealthy, I'm going to be wealthy, because everything that's going to come up, everything coming up based on the original point that I made is what I have to deal with. So if I'm looking to be broke, if I'm looking to struggle, if I'm looking to be oppressed, then everything that I'm going to look at, I'm going to see it as something to make me struggle, something to make me oppressed. I'm going to be upset. Yo, man, they try to make us take these vaccines. You know, that vaccine, they're going to put that shit in our system, and they're going to make us, so we sitting there and they can trace us. Nigga, they can trace you from your fucking cell phone. So how fucking much, not saying that it can't happen, but in that space that you're in, just by you accepting it makes it reality anyway. Just by you looking at it makes it a fucking aspect of your reality. Because that's what you're now your mind is only going to search for that to keep that nocebo effect in order in that space in your mind, to keep you attached to something. Now you locked into that, man, like, you should have did this earlier, man, because I've been fucking up ever since you ain't been around, man. We've been fucking up, man. We've been fucked up. That's nice. Why have you really been fucking up? Why have you really been fucking up? I try to make it impossible, even though it's always going to be a possibility. I always try to make it an obsolete function for someone to say to me that I don't understand something. Because the first thought process in my mind is everybody's going to get it based on their level of consciousness. Everybody's going to get it on their level wherever they're at. So if I say something to somebody, I'm not going into this space. I'm not going to go into a long campaign and spend my next couple of days or months or years trying to make this one point true for the masses, when I've already taken in the information that this shit was not meant for the masses. When the simple word of esoteric means it's for an enlightened few anyway. So I'm not looking for the masses to understand what I'm saying. I understand. I can say in my mind, like, yo, you should do this and you should do that and you should do this. But in my, like, I'm always going to be looking for I'm always going to have that needing and wanting for somebody to, maybe you should do it this way, a false sense of control that leads to my own fucking sabotage. Looking for a fan, looking for motherfuckers to follow me, looking for motherfuckers to like, hell yeah, man. I'm not looking for that. Everybody that's in alignment with me is in alignment with me. Everybody that's supposed to be in the seats at the table is already there. Whether they're in their, whether they're in their light body, their light body is already there, and they just haven't materialized to wrap around that light body of themselves, or they're already sitting at that table, they're already at that table. So when I'm doing my works, I'm doing for the works for my table. Everything that is put on this table is abundant for everybody to eat from that's worthy to eat at this fucking table. But in order for me to have gotten to the point, I had that shadow work of allowing motherfuckers to show me themselves as themselves and being honest with myself to set the boundary of what I need. You can't come here. Man, we supposed to be family, man. I knew you can't come here. It's not even on me that you can't come here. Is this try to walk through the door. It won't let you in. That's what you're gonna have to accept. That's one of the big things people that's one of the big things to accept, to actually start doing your fucking work. You stuck in that mindset of, if I do this, this, and this. Most people do things in that space of not being in alignment with themselves, falling short of themselves, because they're still attached to the things that are feeding, that they have to feed that thought form of something that is against themselves. They have to stay within that space. They got to stay within that mind frame. They got to stay within that space, because they feel that if they move from that space, then what are they? And that's why you have a lot of motherfuckers going through an identity crisis right the fuck now. Still clinging on to being black, still clinging on to being some fucking label. I knew labels were over with when I saw the rise in independent artists. I knew labels were over with when I saw the rise of independent artists. The rise of going independent, the rise of YouTube rappers, the rise of YouTube music, YouTube sensations and Instagram sensations and Snapchat and TikTok sensations. I knew that shit was over with, that label shit. I knew when I first saw I remember when I first saw what the fuck was the name of that fucking movie? The fuck was the name of that movie? The movie when the niggas had something to send me. The movie when they were the cryptocurrency thing, the cryptocurrency movie. I knew that fucking money was over with then. I knew that the traditional form of paper money was over with then. I knew it was like, yeah, that shit's coming to an end. Because they give you just like Bobby Hemming would always say that shit, just like in every fucking movie that motherfuckers want to sit here and encode and decode shit, they give you the aspect of it happening after it's already in play. They give it to you when it's already in play, when it's already happened. So the shit that you reacting to has already been done. So you still fighting on some shit, or fighting some shit based on what? You're fighting, motherfuckers are upset that Trump and this happened and COVID-19. I knew the Trump COVID-19 shit was gonna happen back when the shit first dropped. When the nigga said drink some bleach, I knew that was gonna be part of that fucking aspect. It was a feeling that I just had. So it was like, okay, cool. What the fuck's to argue it over for? But going back into the aspects, it was like, if you can't see past your mask of yourself, how can you go to the next point? How can you actually work within the next point doing your works? You're always going to find an excuse to why you can't do it. Yeah. Take your mindset and challenge it. This is the aspect of for motherfuckers that are just coming on today, fucking shit, aware of themselves. You're gonna have to challenge yourself. You're gonna have to challenge yourself the way you're gonna have to challenge yourself past. You're gonna have to challenge yourself past the original axioms that you believed and the original things that you believe to be true. What comes up are the things that you have to acknowledge in order to go forward. That's always going to be the natural process. That's just like right now in this space right now, I'm thinking about I'm in season 3 of the podcast, my podcast. Since season 1, I was thinking about the live aspect. The things that came up during that stint of time from season 1 to now season 3 of the God Hour, in that space where if I want to do things that popped up, this kept popping up were music, working on music, putting music and beats together for the podcast, and getting better equipment, microphones and shit like that. Building my rapport to do interviews, building my rapport to be able to put out the amount of information that I put out, and doing the live aspect, the live interactions, giving quality based on my creation and giving myself the space to do that. And the things that came up in that, those are the things that came up. But also what came up were the underlying things that would stop me from doing those things. The underlying things that stopped me from doing those things, from actually being able to give myself a day or two or however many days it takes me to put music together, which is usually a day or two. I didn't have that much time because I had the traditional 9-to-5 job. I had that 9-to-5 job that I hated my fucking job. The only reason I hated it is because I didn't understand it. And after I understood it to a point in time, I understood why I had such a distaste for it, because it wasn't me. It's only until I understood it that I understood that it wasn't for me. Why it was put there in the first place. I used it for what the fuck it was needed to be used for. Got a nice unemployment check for a couple of weeks, and the unemployment check led me to buying everything, purchasing and investing into everything that I needed to do what I do now in a full-time aspect. But if I did not first acknowledge, if I first did not submit to the attributes of that space to understand it, then I'd still be at that space. There's whole moments in my life right now, whole moments in my stance right now where I have a conversation, like I'll go to the barbershop, go get my hair cut, or I'll like have a conversation with somebody, and it's always a reinforcing conversation. And they'll be like, yo, so did you give up are you still working at your job, or is this what you do all the time? So this is what I do all the time. I don't understand how hot I am right now. I got the air on fucking 60 degrees and I'm still fucking hot as fuck. That's why I'm drinking so much water. Putting myself into the aspect, I remember having a conversation with my barber. And this is when he was not at the shop. This is when he wasn't at the shop. He was at his homeboy. He was staying with his homeboy. His homeboy had a whole garage, had the whole setup in there cutting hair. I remember the conversations we were having. We never had those conversations inside the barbershop. It was too many ego type. It was too many high egos in that space. So we having whole conversations And the conversations that we were having there, they were in a humbled. He was in a humbled space. So the information, me coming from a humble, me being in a naturally humbled space, the conversation I'm having with him was within a humbled space. Like he was in his. Now it matched and it was an alignment for him to actually get the information that I put out that we talked about based on us both being in a humble position. And we actually had a full conversations. And I remember the one conversation came up, I was like, yo, I remember the last day I was sitting there in my living room and I was watching TV. I think I was watching Mayans, and I'm still upset that Mayans has not came out with the next season yet. That's neither here nor there. But I'm sitting there and I was like, before I left, I was like, yo, I found the point that if I went back, I never would have left. I would have remained attached to that space. And it was in that moment, I was like, damn, it humbled me further. This shit is going to humble you further. It's going to make you more detached. It's going to kill more of your ego. When we're going into that higher aspect of yourself, you're not doing it to find credibility or give yourself credit because that was already written in there. I don't need anything to make me. I don't have that need or that want for something to be like, yo, you doing the. I'll listen to it. My answer in reply to most of anybody that gives me a response to the stuff that I do is always much gratitude. And that's coming from, is like, I don't even have to think that shit. It's like, there's much gratitude. Because that's my trigger word to keep my ego staying the fuck down. It's like, I'm always going to say much gratitude. I'm like, much gratitude. I knew that if I stayed in that space, I would be over there. I'd still be angry. Because this is a moment of honesty for myself. I was like, if I go back to that job, I know I will not be in a state of me being happy. I know I still will be I'll be in a constant state of chaos that even though I'm feeding from this chaos is coming from a lower vibration that is not sustainable for me now. So I can stay in that space. I can feed from that space. I can be like, hell yeah, I'm in this space. I can do that, but it's not going to, it's going to fill me with shit that I don't need to be filled with. Sure, I'll get a paycheck. Sure, I'll get some security within a paycheck. But someone to say, yo, man, you ain't got health insurance? The fuck I need health insurance for? Fuck I need health insurance for? If I am a higher level being, if I'm not even from this shit, why am I subjecting myself to things at this level that I do not truly need for myself? For me, why am I subjecting myself? If my shit work, then why the fuck do I need that shit? Honesty for yourself. You need that level of honesty to yourself. You need that level of transparency for yourself. I was in this, like, I'm in that space. I'm like, yo, I just don't go. Like, it didn't do anything for me. April 10th, 2020 of this year, I launched G.O.D Alkhemist LLC, my LLC. I got my little binder over there. Launched everything G.O.D Alkhemist. It's out there. Been building content for it ever since. Been doing my shit, doing my works ever since. Coming from that humbleized state, like, I don't have to wonder if somebody's going to need something, or I'm not building it based on the aspect of I need to give people something. I'm in the space always where somebody's going to hear it and listen and be like, damn, that's it. Shit, I needed that right there. Last Thursday before I went to the gym, kid off Instagram sent me a message, was like, yo, sent me this paragraph, long message about the podcast and listening to the podcast. And was just open to like saying like, I'm in this state doing my shadow work, all these aspects. Much gratitude, gave him the whole aspect. I'm not looking for that, it's always going to come to me anyway. That's the true aspect of understanding that you're abundant anyway. It's going to come to you regardless. But your mindset got to be in that space for it to come to you. You got to, it's easy to say you build it and it's going to come, but you got to be in the humble live space. You got to build your shit in a humble fucking manner in order for your shit to come to you in that humble, in order for it to come to you in a humble fucking manner. If I'm building my shit based on if I built my platform on the aspect of I'm trying to save some people and my people are lost and my people are ignorant and my people need this and they need a leader and they need all of that shit, then I would constantly be having to build my information and dial it to that narrative. So that means I would have to every fucking day be, and if it comes to me, it comes to me, I'll speak on it. But if it doesn't come to me, I don't speak on it. And I would constantly be speaking on these narratives or trying to stay within that wave of the trend. I'm moving in the wavelength of the higher aspect of that true aspect of love, that unconditional love rhythm, that balance of that. So I can just shoot and my shit hit every fucking time because I'm inside of that rhythm. Most people move in that rhythm based on fear. So every time, if you're moving in a rhythm based upon fear, then of course you got to find something to say within the aspect. You got to build based on the fear. So you got to build your shit up quick. I got a fear going broke. So that fear rhythm, narrative, algorithm that you in, you're going to try to build everything based on that. So you're going to try to sustain based on, that's why you got, not knocking, because I know some motherfuckers that got some motherfucking powerful fucking anointed shit that they do. And I can tell the difference between the motherfuckers that are really putting in the fucking work when they doing their fucking shits. Because I anointed it, did all the oil on my fucking beads and shit. I did all my shit. I'm doing my shit. And I got a whole nother fucking, I got trinkets over there for fucking spiritual packs I got to send out later on this fucking week. But all that shit's in the fucking works. But I can tell, and that's what you're supposed to be seeing. You can tell when somebody's in that 3D narrative of, I got to save my people, I got to help my people. I don't even think about the coon shit. I don't think about coon shit. That shit don't exist. Like that shit, it truly don't fucking exist for me. Niggas telling Mom, you cannot, because it just becomes another external source that I got to put my energy into. So it becomes another, later on down the line, when the energy comes down and it stops working, that becomes my new excuse. Man, I can't get this job, man. I can't get this money because, these white people out here, man. Use a lie. Man, I can't be on Facebook, man, because, Facebook be, nigga, I drop a Facebook video first thing every fucking day after I leave the gym. Meditate and elevate. I drop a different batch of information Monday through Wednesday every fucking day. I have never been in Facebook jail. In the one time that I had restrictions on my something that I posted was in one of them motherfucking groups. One of them black people group, the black groups. Only time that I ever got a fucking restriction. Because my mind is not thinking about, I might go to Facebook jail. So I'm not putting out, so my mind naturally can't. So when I get a channel of information, my shit never, the fuck? It don't happen. How real is your shit? How authentic is your power if you still worried about some motherfucking shit, some motherfucker trying to knock you off? If your shit is where you saying the fuck it's at, then what the fuck are you worried about? I didn't told the story how like the last fucking trip I took to the fucking beach earlier this fucking year. Nigga, I'm flying down the fucking street 85 miles a fucking hour. Not one care in the fucking world. State trooper pull up right beside my ass and go right past me. And if I'm going 85, he had to be going at least 120. So how real is your shit if you really doing what the fuck you're supposed to be doing? It's your shadows that is fucking combating you. Everything that's affecting you is your fucking shadows. Your demon, the demons that are affecting you, the demon aspect or the deities or the intelligence, that means it's an unknown intelligence. That means it's an unknown source of power that you haven't fucking tapped into yet. I'm still waiting for motherfuckers to hex me. Ain't gonna happen because I know because I'm not in that space for it to happen. There's certain shit like when you challenging yourself, if your shit is really where you saying the fuck it's at, then why are you speaking on factors that do not fucking attain to fucking gods? I sit back and just think about how to invest new energy in new shit. 1 second. That's just like when I hear people say niggas ain't shit, or that's like when I hear people say niggas ain't shit, or these niggas out here, these human ass niggas, and these human ass niggas be in my inbox, these human assholes be in my inbox. These human ass niggas be in my inbox looking at me, trying to get with me and all this shit and da 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 and all this shit right here. Shit don't happen to me. It doesn't. There's certain shit doesn't happen to me. So it just gives me the aspect of like, yo, I must be in the right fucking place I must be in the right fucking space because this shit ain't fucking happening to me. The most that's ever happened to me in aspects of things is if someone asks me a question based on trying to tether to my energy. And it very rarely fucking happens. But when it does, I'm able to identify it. Panic put out the 2-part 12-hour lecture. Keys to get the fuck out of here. I watched the first half of the first one. I watched about half of the first one. I'm gonna get back into it. But the first half of the first one, like my ears started ringing. My ears literally started ringing. My ears are ringing were ringing the entire time while watching it. And I stopped watching it because after about, I'll say 2.5 hours of reinforcing of reinforcement, revalidation with myself. I was like, nigga, I'm on the right fucking track. And then I just stopped watching it. It wasn't like I was just sitting there like, and I'll go back and watch it, but like my mindset was like, all right, cool. Got what I needed for my reinforcement, revalidating where the fuck I'm at, what I'm doing. I'm gonna keep going. We have to get out of this mindset of looking for things outside of us to validate us or give us this information. There's not, when you get stuck in that aspect of waiting for it, when you're waiting for something to give you that information, you're gonna get lax. You're gonna get lazy. Yeah, it's 12 hours. 12 fucking hours. And it just wasn't like I watched 4 hours of the first one. I'm gonna go back and watch it. I might watch it tomorrow while I'm working on music for the podcast. But I'm sitting there and I'm like, for 45 minutes, I was like, nigga, I already heard this shit. Like, I've already seen that lecture. I literally have already seen that damn lecture. I was like, nigga, I've seen this before. Like, there's shit that's happening to me right now where, like, I'm seeing, like, the literal lines and shit of lines line up and shit. And I'm like, nigga, I've seen that before in detail of seeing it. And it's not even a deja vu moment. It's like I'm literally seeing like the multitudes of the lines of shit. And I'm like, okay, cool. I'm going to go this way. Or I'm going to go this way. That sense is, and it's always like this effect. Like right now, I want to turn this and let y'all see what this candle doing. The candle been doing it for like the last 10 minutes, and that's why I keep looking at. Wait, I'm gonna try it. Wait. All right, guys, we're going on a field trip. Hold up. I want y'all to see this candle over here. When I get my other camera, I'll do those things. Yeah. I want y'all to see it. The mic's going to fall. Try not to press buttons I ain't supposed to be pressing. That motherfuckers have been dancing for like the entire time. I just need to show y'all that. Okay, we back. All right. But this aspect of actually tapping in and doing your work is going to shift your mindset into seeing what you need to see. You have to accept it at the level that you're at. That is going to be that major key for where you're at. Where you're at is where the information is going to hit you at. So you're not going to see things based on how others see shit. That's something that motherfuckers lost in all the fucking time. But the aspect of consciousness, this is the definition of woke. This is the definition of woke. You got to see this, and you got to do this, and you got to this got to happen to you, and this got to happen to you. Not saying that it's not going to happen to you, but it's going to happen to you in your own fucking time. Like me being a whole fucking shaman, there's certain shit that I see that nobody else is going to see. And I have accepted that no one else is going to see that. That was like one of the biggest things for myself, was accepting what I see is something someone else is not going to see. Therefore, it's not up to me to try to convince them based on that, because if there's a blockage, what's coming up naturally when they hear what they are hearing at the level that they're at as much light as can be put, as can permeate through their fucking skull, through their fucking auric field, their dirty ass auric fields, what comes up is what they have to deal with. So when you're doing your works, what comes up is what you got to deal with. So if you sit here and you go get you do an abundance spell, you go get some abundance herbs, the shit that comes up at that first go round is what you got to deal with. So if you get an abundance of fucking problems, of issues that come up regardless after you do a fucking abundance spell, therefore there's an abundant amount of things that you're going to have to deal with in order to get, you got what the fuck you needed to get. That's the aspect of the magic. Knowing that, because 9 times out of 10, that honesty and transparency for your ass, while you sitting there doing your spell, or you meditating, or you doing some shit, the shit that come up that knocks you off your fucking course, or you feel like, man, I can't get my meditations right, I can't get my spells right, my shit just I keep getting anxiety attacks. What is the anxiety leading you to? Is leading you to a doubt? Then what doubt do you need to work on? There's something that you have been doubting in your life that you have not acknowledged, and it's coming to the surface. That's why you keep seeing that shit happen. You got to deal with it. Deal with your shit. Because the longer that you don't, the more excuses that you naturally are going to make. The more excuses that you make, the more food you give to these earthly entities of energy. Procrastination is an entity. Think about take the 7 deadly sins as a nice little starter point. Take the 7 deadly sins. Sloth and guilt and gluttony and all these aspects. All those motherfuckers are deities. They all have a corresponding deity to each one of those. So when you're thinking about the deity that you're interfacing with, based on every deity has a lower aspect or death, and then it has a lot, or it has the rebirth aspect of it. So when you're dealing with the interface, when you're interfacing with the energy, and it seems cool that you're looking at the dark side aspect of whatever deity that you're looking at, and you're like, yeah, dark side, whatever the fuck it may be, that's, you may be looking at the one that's all about the death and the destruction. That's the lower aspect of that deity, depending on where you at. So if you attach to it and you work with it, it's like if somebody said hail fucking Satan or hail fucking Lucifer or whatever fuck it may be, at the lower aspect, you might be dealing with the lower aspects of what it is that you have to deal with. That's the first aspects of the works. This is where motherfuckers get stuck in their little transits and not going to the higher aspects of the energy, because you get stuck on the lower aspect. One of the lower aspects of physical manifestation, when you get stuck in one of these cult systems, and then you stuck in that one forever because you don't want to work with the energy, you just want to work with the energy, you don't want to really go into the aspects of what it is, what is that, what does Oshun mean for you? What is Ogun? What is Yeminya? What does Oya mean for you? That's why everybody can sit there and say, you can't fuck with my Jesus. Of course you can't fuck with their Jesus. They got an aspect of life based on that motherfucker. They can't accept death yet. Because the whole aspect, when you look at, even looking at the Jesus story, the death and the rebirth aspect, the life aspect, the life of Jesus was the aspects of understanding humanity, was understanding and having compassion for humanity. When this motherfucker died on the cross, the crucifixion, that was the aspect of going into the death aspect, going into the knowledge realm of yourself, Lazarus and all those aspects. That's why whenever they keep saying Jesus gonna come back and he gonna come back with a flaming sword of truth and start cutting down shit, that's destroying your fucking humanity. But in the aspect of the reincarnation, he's gonna make you come back. Even in the fucking story, it's telling you about the body, you're gonna get a new body and all this shit. All that shit is the aspect of once you do what the fuck you supposed to do, you gonna have a new eternal body. Not here, but in your own earth. That's why they say everybody has their own version of fucking heaven. I learned that shit in fucking Supernatural. I learned that shit in fucking Originals. I had a whole reinforcement moment watching the Originals when they had Elijah going back and forth in his fucking head and they had all them fucking doors in their fucking minds. I was like, nigga, they showing the subconscious. Oh my fucking God. Because the reason that I like shit was not the reason other motherfuckers like shit. That's why the reason other people like shit is because I can't just don't deal with it. It doesn't work for me. Is because it just doesn't relate to me. Like someone cannot hit me with someone cannot tell me about fucking The Walking Dead because all I'm seeing is niggas that got stuck. Whenever I see The Walking Dead, the only thing that I create in my fucking mind is, oh shit, them niggas got stuck. Them niggas didn't transition. And when I think about the zombies, I just think about, oh shit, that's the other niggas in purgatory that got stuck. And now these niggas is just fighting forever, endlessly. That's what I think about when I think about zombie movies. I'll still watch a zombie movie, but I haven't seen, you feel me? It's like always the same fucking narrative. Now the zombies are getting faster. So when I see zombies getting faster, they got more consciousness. It's like, oh shit, the dead is actually coming online to be more conscious. Based on their basic needs. It's showing them their basic needs. It's showing them the basic needs that they got stuck in. That's just how I just viewed it. I'm like, oh shit, that's what that fucking shit, it just pops out at you. Because I'm in a different state of mind. So now I don't have to spend time. Now I can spend time fucking having hour fucking conversations like these niggas, idiots. I lost my whole track of what the fuck I was actually fucking talking about. I lost the whole fucking track. Oh yeah, we're talking about the deities and interface. The deity interface, everything has a life aspect and everything has a death aspect. So when you think about, you use Buddha, founder of honor. The aspect of the balance is of understanding the compassion for humanity, and having the compassion for humanity is the full aspect of the result. So even when you look at the Baphomet, same aspect, the same balance of understanding the aspects of humanity. You look at a Ganesh fucking picture, you look at a Ganesh fucking, I got a Ganesh joint sitting over here across from me, and on the fucking pad, it got the fucking swastika, because I never remember the original fucking name. The swastika on it are the angles of light and the angles of fucking light. The balance. You start seeing everything within everything, and you're like, okay, cool. I don't have to create anything because everything's within everything. I'm interfaced to that level, to everything is around me is something for me to learn from, something for me to grind into. So I don't have to, what most people are doing now is when they're trying to create something, they're trying to create this base for themselves so everybody comes to them and gets information from them. Nigga, no. Because they don't have any real tools. That's the aspect what I was trying to say. I simply have access and have accepted my rank, my route, my where I'm at with the tools of my abilities to do what I do. I simply have the tools I can show you how to use the tools. If you're not up to use the tools, I'm not going to force you to use the tools. I'm not going to say, here, take this cane. My wand's in my fucking room. I'm not going to say, here, take this cane. This cane has power. Here, hold this cane. It has power. Because until you have gone through the process, you don't understand how this cane has power. I got this cane from the fucking spirit store down here because I was like, nigga, I've been wanting to get my fucking cane, but every time I went in there, I didn't get my cane. Every time I went in there, I saw this cane. They had this other bomb ass cane, but I saw the cane, and every time I went in there, there was always something in me that said, "Don't get your fucking don't." I just didn't go get it. It was like, One aspect one time was like money, and another aspect was like I'm not gonna be dressing up for Halloween, and another aspect was for something else, and another aspect was like something else. And like this last time I went in there, dropped my 30, I was like, ooh, I like the way it feels. I just like the way it feels for me. It just has power for me. I understand that I got each skull on here is a fucking means of skill, is an aspect of a skill. So I can walk with my skill in confidence. That's what my cane is invoked in the energy for me. So when I hold my cane or I use my cane in that aspect, this becomes my magical tool, or it's an extension of my power. Simply to, oh yeah, I clipped my other nails because they kept snapping, but they're all growing back fast. But I kept my pinkies because they stayed strong. Everything outside of me is an extension of my fucking power. So since everything is an extension of my power, is it based upon the kinetic or is it based upon the potential? So if my mindset's now within potential energy, I am now thirsty for the interfacing for things that are potential energy. What can I grow my potential and where can I wield my potential energy within? I got into fucking cryptocurrency on accident because I always wanted to invest. I just didn't know how to do it. But as of late, like I've just been in that aspect. I've been working with Rebel. She's in the chat. Working with Rebel on that aspect. I was like, yo, like that shit. That's an investment to the next level. Conversation. That's soul tribe energy right there. Like conversations we've had like this. They just fit like this. Heh. So it'd be 15 minutes and it'd be in 30 minutes of just going back and forth, just shooting information on. That's the aspect that you're looking for. I have that thirst for that information. So I'm constantly looking for potential physical manifestations to put my energy into. I ain't looking for anything based on the kinetic form, the kinetic wave, because that shit's already going to matriculate naturally. I don't have to look for things because it's already going to be there because I've already created that shit in my mind. I'm simply doing my work to clear that path for that to be unlocked so I can just go forward with it. That's going to be that's the major key when you're doing your shadow work. The shit that comes up that stops you from being consistent, the shit that keeps you up, the shit that stops you from being consistent, that's showing you the pattern that you have. That's showing you the pattern that you need to break. That's showing you the pattern that you need to break. You have to let it happen. You have to let that shit happen. Your spirit is literally going to take you back to square one, not of the level that you were on, of the level that you're at, but it's going to be in this other aspect. It's going to be this main aspect of the spirit is going to put you into a space of stasis. That's what I wanted to say. It's going to put you in a sense of stasis. It's going to force you to sit down and put your tools to the test. It's going to force you to put those tools to the test. There's been many times in my works where I'm sitting there and I buy books most of the time. I buy my books and they're books that I've already channeled information from, like this book right here. I'm on page 106. I'm actually on page 107. My favorite aspect in this book is if a person begins his day consciously, then it's evident that such a day would be very different compared to other days. When the day one is living is taken as the totality of one's life, when one does not leave for tomorrow, one must do for this very day, then indeed one gets to know what the work on oneself really means. A day never lacks importance. This goes into the aspect whenever you go into the Book of the Dead, the book of the book of the day, book of the becoming, the book of becoming the day, or the dead, whatever scroll, and you start seeing that information, it's Samuel, we are broke. I had a breakdown on that. A day never lacks importance. Therefore, if we really want to transform ourselves radically, we must then see, observe, and comprehend ourselves daily. That goes deep into that aspect because it just sounds cool when motherfuckers like to yell out loud and say some stupid shit like, what do motherfuckers like to say? What do they like to say? When motherfuckers like to say, like, yo, you got to become the day and all this aspect, it just sounds good. It sounds like something good to say. They be like, yeah, because you know the Kemites, we believe in becoming the day and studying all this. Nigga, give me an impact. Give me some information that actually can help me go to something, do something different. Give me some new information. Don't give me regurgitated shit. And if you do, give me the book. And if I don't have the book, I'll go get the book and I'll go get the information that you have. Outside of that, like motherfuckers that have dealt with, like man, let's go back to this book real quick. Spirit is telling me to read this because I'm not comprehending. I can't remember some shit. Want to transform ourselves radically, we must then see, observe, and comprehend ourselves daily. That's what I was going to say. The aspect of a day that you do not learn is a day that you die. That means you stay dead, because death. We understand that death is. This is the aspect of what we're doing. This breakdown aspect. This is us in the aspect of living. Anything outside of this, not saying that it is an aspect of dying, but anything that is not truly bringing you into the aspect of you tapping into yourself, or building yourself, is an aspect of you're gonna stay dead. You're not living. It's not lit. Nonetheless, people do not want to see themselves in themselves. Some of them, in spite of having desires to work on themselves, justify their negligence with phrases like the following: the work in the office does not allow me to work on myself. My job don't allow me to do what the fuck I really need to do. My relationship don't allow me to do what I. If you in a relationship, in a job, or in any fucking conduit of space that does not allow you to expand yourself, to understand yourself in a deeper narrative, that is part of the problem that keeps coming up in your life that you're not fucking dealing with. That's going to be honesty for yourself, because once you acknowledge it, you have one of two choices. Once you acknowledge it, you got one or two choices. My favorite analogy: if you walk into your bedroom and your homegirl and your man, or your man and your homegirl are in the room and they getting it in, you got one or two fucking choices. Either you're going to walk out of the room and leave, be gone, take your stuff and bounce, go get a hotel room, do whatever the fuck you need to do, or you're going to stay there and coach them on how to get your man off. Or you're going to coach them on how to, or you're going to be coaching your homegirl on how to cup your man's balls. You got one or two fucking choices. Either you in or you're out. That's your choice. Transparency. I can't believe he did it. I can't believe you cheated on me. Nigga, what the fuck? It don't fucking matter. Because they're only going to give you the answers. Yeah. Either you're going to coach him, either you're going to join in and get off, or you're going to leave. You got one or two choices. All that emotional back and forth really is not going to do it. All that, whatever emotions are going to come up are going to be triggers that you're going to have to step away for anyway to understand something inside of yourself. Why does this keep happening to me? Why do the men do I get with keep treating me like crap? Why do the women do I get with always want me for just this? Maybe because that's all you see yourself as. To justify their negligence with phrases like the following: the work at the office does not allow me to work on myself. These empty, vain, and absurd words, or old axioms of yourself, only serve in order to justify insolence, laziness, lack of love, or for the great cause. And that's a great fucking thing right there, saying for the great cause. The reason I can't get ahead is because my people don't want to get ahead. What the fuck do your reflections have to do with you getting ahead? What do your reflections have to do with you getting ahead? Think about that. What purpose does your reflection serve? When you look into a mirror, what purpose does your reflection serve? What purpose does this individual that's in your life that keeps doing dumbass shit or has been doing the same shit since day one, what do they serve? If they resonate, if they get you emotionally imbalanced, they're showing you something. You have to see it without the aspect. You can't see it through your rose-colored glasses or your fucking sunshades and be like, maybe they'll get better. It's just because we ain't got no money right now. Maybe they'll get better if we get some more money, or if I get this job, or if I do this. Maybe I'm not doing something right. Then you start blaming yourself for the space that you in, instead of looking at the space as the space, something like, what the fuck is wrong with me? Honesty. Let me go pee. All this damn water. Okay, we're back. Sorry about that. But what is that showing you in that aspect of yourself? Because in the reality, because I remember I was dealing with a brother that was really fucking wounded in aspects. Had a conversation with him, tried to set him up for a consultation. He kept finding excuses. I was like, all right, cool, whatever. No sweat off my back. This was like earlier on in my growing into my shit. And I'm listening to what he's saying, and he says something through the aspect of the hurt. The spirit used that nigga to bring that information to me, and it made me think. He was like, his exact word was like, yeah, the meditation sounds good, and saying that you're a god sounds good, and all of the aspects, all these things sound good when you in that space. But when some real shit go down, that's when it's getting fucking tested. All that shit go out the fucking window. You still gonna have to either fight or do whatever the fuck it is. And I listened to it. I was like, he made a good point. He made a very good point. I feel what you're saying, but like, that's not the point of the meditation. Went down the hole, told him that that's not the point of meditation. That's not the point of what you're doing. If you're doing things to only get a certain result and that result doesn't happen, it's because you had a set intent. You had a set based on a reaction. You set yourself up based upon reaction. Remember, there's a difference between most motherfuckers that are thinking that they're being productive in their works and doing the things that they need to do. They're simply being reacted to something else. They're simply being only reactive. You're reacting based upon that trauma, that pain, whatever it may be. So you're making a reaction based on the knowledge of only based upon the trauma. You have not allowed yourself to seize the day to become the day. Like what I said earlier, like there's nothing in humanity on that human level that's going to stop me from doing what I'm doing anyway. Period. There's nothing that will stop me or put me like, oh shit. And when it does, I'm able to assess that situation because that's what the work is for. I have no desire to sustain the humanity aspect. Everything that I build, every pyramid that I build in my mind. Every pyramid, every monument, everything that I build within my mind is to align and embody my energy to where naturally at this space it's going to fall in the line. I'm aware that I'm inside of a prison, but I'm not a prisoner anymore. I've accepted that, there's certain things that are supposed to keep you locked the fuck down. Instead of me trying to avoid them or trying to make an excuse for it, that means I need to study that shit. If something gets me stuck in it, it means I'm supposed to deal with that. And like, let me deal with this. Let me see what the fuck this shit really means. Let me see what is there. Let me see if there's something I can pull to exert. If I can pull something out of that, that's revert. That's the major key of when you reversing energy. If I go get some reversible candles and I sit here and say I'm gonna reverse them, I'm gonna reverse some shit. I'm not looking for mundane level shit. I'm not gonna go get a reverse candle, or I'm not gonna be working on a spell to break bonds from shit. Like, that's not gonna be what I'm gonna use my power for. I'm not gonna use my power on mundane shit. I'm gonna use my power to further align me and keep me balanced in my shit. That's the key of using your magic. That's how your magic works. Anything like, and when you're training yourself, you're gonna do weird ass fucking shit. Like, you're gonna see how far your mind goes to see as it's working, and then you're gonna keep going up. Most motherfuckers like to stay down in some lower shit and be like, man, I'm getting all this money over here now, and I'm getting all this mad bread and shit. Okay, cool. You're gonna have to keep doing the same shit over and over again. Therefore, is it really advancing you? Is it really advancing you? Are you really advancing? Are you growing? Are you shifting? Are you allowing yourself to see things? Are you able to see things within the balance? The balance, as my man Papa Midnight would say. Or are you just trying to maintain in that same space? Papa Midnight, that's what that nigga symbolized. He symbolized maintaining an old balance. Only one playing by the same old rules. So in that reflection, it took a destructive force or something that was programmed for destruction to show you that you're not living in the same balance anymore. So when you look at Trump showing you that you're not in the same old balance anymore, but at the same time, they're showing you that you can't, there's nothing else that they can do, or they don't know what else to do, but keep implementing the same shit. They're only keeping you locked away if you choose to be locked the fuck away. They're only choosing, you only can be locked away if you only locked away once again if you choose to be locked away. If you choose that to be your excuse in your life and your narrative, let it be your narrative. But don't try to put that on other motherfuckers. You see, man, and the reason why that we locked in this position that we in right now is because our people refuse to wake up and do all this shit. Nigga, stop lying to yourself. You refuse to accept what the fuck you need to accept in order for your ass to advance. There's something you still attached to. Let that shit go. You still attached to something. You want to create this image of black women being in this certain narrative because maybe your mother didn't love you enough, or the narrative, maybe, just maybe, you saw your mother putting on all these nice wigs and shit and going out in the middle of the night and being a lady of the night or whatever, tricking off and like different niggas running through. And maybe that's why your thought process of dealing with women that are expressing themselves in multiple different fucking facets. I'm mad at how she said that. You're looking at the multiple different fucking facets and you like, shit, maybe that is my reason. Maybe my mother And the reason that maybe it is because of that. You got to be honest with yourself. The reason that you think niggas is dogs and all of this shit, and now you want to do fucking hexes and fucking spells on niggas and shit. What nigga in your life hurts you? Who was the first nigga to hurt you? Understand that aspect first. That's why you are not advancing. That's why the things that you're wanting to matriculate and come into your life aren't coming into your life, because you ain't dealt with the first shit. And it just keeps showing itself again. And then you reach to a certain point where that shit shifts, and now you're being shown, because the reflection is either showing you remnants or something that you're gonna aspire to go towards. It's gonna show you one or two aspects. That's what the mirror is gonna show you. It's either gonna show you the image that you need to see. It's always gonna show you what you need to see. But based on what you accept is what you go forward into that mirror. Mirror, mirror on the wall. Mirror, mirror on the wall, who's the flyest of them all? Even when you looked at that fucking movie and Maleficent was sitting there like, mirror, mirror on the wall, who's the flies on the wall, and they kept showing her the other fucking bitch. It showed her innocence. Someone pure of heart. Someone with no burdens on their fucking heart. That's who's going to be the best. So you've seen this shit all the fucking time. But are you accepting it? Or are you still stuck within that nocebo effect of you just need the negative aspects to keep your shit going? You need a reason to stay here. You need a reason to fight. I need no reason to fight. There's shit I can do that can fucking destroy, but why do I fucking need it here? I use that shit to destroy. I use my destructive natures to aid others in destroying the blockages within them. That's what I use my shit for. So why would I waste my fucking energy on this lower level shit? And then when you think about that, you'll understand when Bobby Hemmett said they can't help you no fucking more. Because I remember when I got that fucking download, nigga, they can't help you no fucking more. Because you're trying to make them do things that is not for that aspect. You keep trying to put this same shit in the shit that ain't fucking working no more. You keep sitting here trying to make that relationship with that bum ass nigga work, and it ain't working no more. You keep trying to make that bum ass relationship with that person don't work no more. You trying to make that relationship with your mother work for the sense of, that's my mother. That's the only mother I ever knew. True definition of your mother. Always going to be your mother based on the definition. Always going to be that energy based on that space. But just like what I said, every fucking deity has a death aspect and a rebirth aspect. So your mother not being in your life and you dealing with the aspects of your mother not being what you wanted her to be as a mother in your life, that is the death of your humanity. That's the energy you're going to be using as the death of your humanity. Exactly. You want to know that's the death of your humanity. That's why it was presented in that manner. In a past life, you probably had countless bad fucking relationships with women. Countless bad relationships with women. At a point in time, you're going to notice on that algorithm, the nurturing aspect of what you were nurturing, what you look like. Think about the mother being a nurturing and your mother not being a nurturing woman in your life. That means you have to acknowledge that you need to stop nurturing. At a point in time, you have to start that hatred you got for your mother, that thought process you have for your mother, in the sense of you needing to forgive your mother, is releasing the boundary from you, so you can be like, you know what? The nurturing I did not receive from this space was based on the lack of knowledge of nurturing within that space. So I'm transmuting this false thing that I'm calling nurturing in an environment, trying to nurture an environment based on that same fucking trauma. I'm basing my trauma of how I was raised based on the aspect of getting it from the feminine aspect, my wounded aspects from a wounded aspect. In order for me to come whole, I have to first acknowledge these aspects were wounded. They came from a wounded space. In order for me to acknowledge them, to have the knowledge, in order to open myself up to become open to be healing myself. That is going to be, that's your key. The aspect of your father not being in your life and you had to father yourself. You had to go, you went on the journey to become a man by yourself. That was you fathering yourself. The aspect of your mother trying to do everything in her power to keep you at the aspect. Don't go out there and do that. Don't do this. Don't do that. Don't do this. You're going to get killed. You're going to get killed. She's basing her narrative off of, once you understand what death is, you now can go back to that. You go back to that point where, like, she was afraid I was going to die. Her reflection of death is based on a lack of understanding of what death is. So maybe that's how I'm connecting my aspect of not understanding what death is. Maybe that's keeping me from actually acquiring my new knowledge. This is how you start breaking yourself down. This is that transparency these are aspects of transparency. These are the questions that I ask myself millions of fucking times. My mother was the first one to show me that my money can be taken from me. First one that stole from me. First one ever. My little lawn, cutting the lawn route in the fucking neighborhood, and she took $20 of my fucking money and put $5 and tucked it into the couch, and I had to go find it. And then she never apologized for it. That became my narrative of like, damn, nigga, I can't. If I leave it out, then it's gonna get taken. And I learned that in that experience. I was like, God damn, nigga, if I leave my energy exposed, it's gonna get taken. That's this one understanding of that axiom, of that original point that I can use to string my energy to in multiple points within myself. That's the key when we think about the Kabbalah and the tree of life. How does that shit light up? That shit's filled. Those are just the filled orbs. Because you know the quillos behind it, that's that tree of knowledge that's behind it. My knowledge, acknowledging these spaces, is why those shits light up. So what am I attached to in my humanity that's in Ketha, the bottom cipher, Earth, the prison? What aspects of humanity am I locked into that keep this shit lighting up? Sustaining this light so it stays in my life. What do I need to deal with in Ketha? What do I need to deal with in that aspect? What do I need to acknowledge? What do I need to rewire so I can make that light go up? Because when you look at the tree of light, everything's lit up based on a reflection. But when you truly actually start doing the work, the lines that connect, the poles, the pathways that connect it are the ones that you're flowing through your energy through to unlock yourself. Those rings, 6 rings, Saturn, Jupiter, the planetary alignments, all of these alignments. But when you getting stuck in each one of these aspects, when you getting stuck in each one of these little aspects up here, and you getting stuck in the thing, and you trying to bring something down to You're trying to bring the higher shit down to the lower shit. That's what you've been doing this entire time anyway. You just been sustaining your light and then moving your light around in this space, but it's really not opening anything. So you think that you're being very productive and deep and all of this shit, but you're really not doing anything but just moving your light around that's already acknowledged in these spaces. You ain't turned none of them shits off to turn them shits back on. So then you ain't turned nothing in your DNA off to turn that shit back on. That's the whole discipline whenever you want to go plant-based or you want to go fruitarian and you go through all of the aspects of going all of the breath. Is it breatharian? When you just basically swallow air or you eating basically, you can be like the ancestor Dr. Layla Africa and you don't eating beans and peas once a fucking week type aspects. All these disciplines, all these things are training aspects for you to actually use your fucking energy in the highest fucking manner. If you can't do it, look at why you can't be consistent. Look at what this is going right back to those fucking patterns. What patterns have you not broken down within yourself in order for you to commit to such a fucking task? It's not meant for you to be there for it. No one is telling you to be vegan forever. No one is telling you to only eat fruit forever. You can eat whatever the fuck you want. But once you understand what the fuck is in it, if it does not resonate with you to help you grow in the level that you're trying to get to, then that's when you're not doing it. But it's not for me. I'm plant-based. I'm vegan as fuck. But every once in a while, an ancestor wants some fucking super sweet shit. And I got to go get the fucking sweet shit. Because I know once I eat that, it's going to start flowing. Because that's the aspect of the spirit interfacing. The spirit is not stuck within. The spirit is not in broccoli. The spirit is not in pineapples. The spirit is not connected to that aspect that I'm going to create a cult of broccoli eaters and this is all we fucking eat. And this is how we're going to reach our enlightenment. Because even in that, if it's a group of 1,000 motherfuckers eating broccoli, I can guarantee probably only maybe 3 motherfuckers are going to reach a level of enlightenment while eating the broccoli. Because maybe 3, remember, that shit ain't for the fucking masses, it's for a select fucking few. So if that fits for you, then go through that aspect. There's motherfuckers that need church. There's motherfuckers that need that fucking structure in their life. There's niggas that need that. As a shaman, I'm able to adjust to those aspects. That's the true aspects of that's the true tell of you mastering your craft is when you can adjust your thing, when you can adjust your stream to each personalized path. I don't give 1 or 2 people the same fucking task whenever I'm working with them. I don't give you won't get the same task. The only same task that I give people, and it'll always be for like a different reason. Yeah. The only reason I can go around, I can like talk to different people, I give different people things. The only thing that I'll give people is I'll give them a separation exercise where I'll say, yo, starting Monday, from Monday to Sunday, do not call anybody, do not text anyone. Do not call, do not initiate any conversations. Don't initiate no conversations, no call, no text. Don't hop on fucking Instagram. Don't hop on fucking Facebook. We taking you back to yourself. I want you to notice that the ones that do text you, what do they text you? Don't reply back. You're going to fight the urge to want to reply back because motherfuckers don't think you're dead and whatever. Let them think what they need to think. Because we're going to teach you how to use that energy. And look at who initiates what conversation. Just look at who says, ask, are you okay? Just look at the people, even when they ask, are you okay? Wait for them to give you more response. Because the longer you give people the room, the more shit they're gonna bring out. This is all a part of the aspect of separation. So the more shit, the longer space you leaving out for space, the more shit they're gonna keep giving you exactly what the fuck you need in order for you to make your new boundary. But you need that shit to fucking flow out. You need it to flow. You need it to happen. You need to let the shit just happen. Man, but nah, man. You need to let go of control. Letting go of your control is the only way that you're going to align with the intimacy of understanding your actual power. If motherfuckers can send you a text and say, yo, you good? I was going to ask you, could I borrow $20? Then, damn it, you got your fucking answer. Man, I've been wondering, man, if I could why I can't get my money right, man, and shit, man. People always need something, but I'm never able to catch it. You'll catch it in that moment. Like if you give somebody $20, in reality, if you give somebody $20, we'll give them that aspect, and they avoid you, why are you upset that they're avoiding you with the $100 for the $20? You got the answer you needed. That's the price you needed to pay to see what the fuck you needed to see. Man, but it's my $20. Nigga, you can make another $20. If you couldn't make another $20, maybe you shouldn't have gave him the $20 in the first place. My uncle taught me that shit. Like, don't give out shit that you need right back. That's gonna be the price that's gonna be the price you need to pay to see the shit you need to see. You got motherfuckers around you right now. Oh. My ear won't stop ringing. That's why I'm like in my ear so fucking hard. That shit hurt a little bit. I went a little too deep with this fucking nail. You're going to see the shit that you need to fucking see. You're going to see how lost motherfuckers really are. You're going to see how fucking dependent people are based on things. You're going to see how lonely people really are. You're going to see the land of the lost. You're going to see the actual dead. It's not for you to respond and yell out, these niggas is dead. Why? You yelling out that they're dead doesn't change the fact that they're dead. That's them. Let them be them. Let them do what the fuck they doing. If it brings some information to you, it does what it needs to do. You know how to feed from it. You got an abundant plate in front of you. You got all the abundance, all the wealth, all the prosperity that you need in front of you. You got every ingredient. You got every ingredient that you can put inside that cauldron and stir up and do what the fuck you need with it. But you got to release yourself from the aspect of, man, if I do this, then these people going to look at me like this. I don't give a fuck. That's truly not giving a fuck. For me to just, I don't care. I went to go pick up fucking candles and fucking sweatpants and my fucking Trippy Shaman shirt. And I had my fucking Moldavite in my fucking joint right here and my fucking bandana right here. Don't even care. Like, why the fuck do I care? Other than the aspect, like, I'm working on shit. Like, I took the Jay-Z thought process. When I remember when back in the day when Jay-Z was like, when I go in the studio, I don't shave, I don't do none of that shit because I'm doing my works. But I stay clean. Like, I stay the regular aspects because I'm putting in fucking work. Everything has a dying phase. That's the aspect of understanding taking your stuff out of the fundamental so you actually understand what the fuck it is. Like every motherfucker that want to go get locks. I remember I told my brother, I was like, yo, in order for you to go through the process of getting your locks, you have to understand that what you lock, whatever state that you're in, that's what you're locking into your locks, that energy. So if you got problems and issues that you ain't dealt with and you lock your hair up, that's what these are now the antennas that are going to be attracting that based on that energy. So don't do that shit until you're ready. Now you got motherfuckers got locks just because it's an image. It's a physical image based on the fundamental to fit within a certain space. It's a physical image to fit within a certain space. So you like, okay, cool. I got this. I got the crystals. I got the fucking rings. I can't see my rings. I got the rings, nigga. I'm spiritual. You know the fuck you not. You think that you are, and that's cool because part of it is thinking that you are. But now that you think that you are, you claim that you are. Here come the challenges that go. Here is the book. Here's the book that's going to come with that aspect for you to do what you got to do next. Here's the tools. Here's the book. Here's the book. You ready for it? Man, nah, man. It's the white man stopping me, man. The white man won't allow us to be great. And man, I'm gonna go hook up with the other niggas that think white man think we ain't supposed to be great. Now, congratulations. You are part of the white man hater group. You are part of the Tamahu hater group. That's nice. Cool. Because now them niggas gonna eat all your fucking energy. That earthly deity that you created is now gonna get all your fucking energy. Congratulations. You're gonna have gray hairs and shit. You're gonna go buy big ass fucking onks and shit and go stand on corners and be upset and shit and yell. Congratulations. You have achieved nothing. Because me walking up, my thought process as I build in this other half of my aspect is like, as I build what I'm doing and as I step into the space that I've stepped into, I don't want or I don't desire that any of the ones coming up under in the aspect, coming into their consciousness, coming into their awareness, the young, the guys that are coming up under me in that aspect, I don't want them to have to go look at the other bullshit that my other motherfuckers are doing. In order for that to be a bypass, so they're not looking like, so they don't end up being like fucking Power Rangers and shit and dressing up and shit. Because all they're going to be doing is hiding their shit behind another fucking mask. So they got a mask on with another mask. And that goes into the aspect when you think about mask and when you think about the mask and shit and it embodies that energy, I got to take off one mask to put on another mask. Anyway, so I took off all the masks. I had to become honest with myself by taking off all these fucking masks to really see myself as who the fuck I really fucking am and embrace who the fuck I really am and be in love with who the fuck I am. And now my energy irradiates from that space. And since I'm open and understand that light is based on the level of that fucking consciousness where that person sees, people are going to see me in a certain light and want to bring me, or they're going to want to transmute my energy through their light. They're going to want to transmute your energy through their level of understanding, through their filters, so they can attach to it. And then they're going to try to use that same aspect to keep pulling that energy into them by acting in that same manner. So they're not going to show any fucking growth. They're not going to show anything. They're not going to show any level of raising themselves up because they have you there. Why do they need to raise themselves up if you're always going to be there? If you always going to be there to pat them on the head and rub their stomach and make them feel good about the bullshit that they doing, then why the fuck do they need to fucking grow? That's even more aspect of the separation process based on fucking old fucking conduits that are now obsolete. They are attracted to your energy through your image. If your image is feasible or it can be used to, if your image, your auric field, your light body, this body that you create is in any way, shape, or form able for them to use it in a certain manner, they're going to use it in that certain manner. They're going to use it for exactly what they need to use it for. because they don't understand how to even charge themselves or even take themselves to the next level. So it'll be no good for you to give them information in this thought process like, yo, if I give them this, they're going to know because they don't know how to use it. I've explained cyclomancy in sessions. And the most motherfuckers, someone actually sent me an email the other day. And their exact words were, yo, can I use that cyclomancy book to get money? I was like, sure you can. Yo, you teach on that? Nah, I don't. It ended in an argument, one-sided, where they were like, yo, so I was like, I'm not. You're not here. So doing these aspects, removing yourself from the nocebo effect, the negative aspects, look for negative aspects to keep your reality together. That's what they use in the external sense. Exoteric is the nocebo effect. So that means the placebo effect, or the internal aspect, the placebo effect, is your natural self. You're in a natural state of nirvana. That's the placebo. Nigga, whatever I do, it turns gold. Nigga, I got the Midas touch, or whatever mythos you want to read on that. That's the aspect of you becoming that. That's the aspect whenever you heard in the line, you either live long enough to become the hero, or you die becoming the villain. You have to become the villain. You're going to become the exact opposite of what the fuck you are. So if I want to manifest, I have to shift from the nocebo effect, the negative aspects that have created this old reality that I'm binded to. So now I'm in the placebo effect. Everything that I do is giving me exactly what I need, when I need it, as I need it, and then I go forward. Placebo effect versus the nocebo effect. A lot of niggas that you know are spiritually within the nocebo effect, because they're going to keep giving you that same bullshit, talking about, you can tell now we are established this nocebo effect. We can start seeing niggas in their nocebo effect. Anybody that is still saying that niggas is being coons and white people are the enemy and we're oppressed and slavery and shit, they're still suffering from the effects of the nocebo pills that they've been fed, the nocebo energy that they've been fed. Anybody that's on this aspect over here that's achieving to go into the placebo effect, nigga, I'm abundant, I'm great, nigga, I'm getting everything that I want, nigga, they still can be in the nocebo effect because they're still looking at it from either side. See, that's the balance. You got to be understanding the nocebo and understanding that aspect of the placebo. You got to nibble on that. You got to be nibbling on that. You got to nibble on that red pill. You got to swallow the red pill, and then you got to be still nibbling and dabbling. You got to be nibbling on that red pill and still dabbling on them blue pills, because you need both and understand to make the full matrix go into place. That goes in the aspect of ayahuasca, mushrooms, and all these aspects. You need the book. This would be your nocebo. The information that you recite in the book, this is the nocebo. This is challenging the aspects of the negative. This is challenging the negative archetypes inside of your mind. So if you pop the other pill, let's say you want to take mushrooms or whatever, psychedelics or whatever, that's the placebo. The placebo is going to naturally show you everything that you don't need to fucking deal with anymore. That's your balance. That's you coming into your balance. That's your conjuring. That's you aligning these mirrors. Until you align these mirrors, the energy can't bounce down the way it's supposed to bounce down to come back up. So you get stuck. You get stuck in that. That's why you see motherfuckers stuck in still, nigga, it's nice. It's cool. But, nigga, it don't work no more. The only reason it worked because it's based off kinetic. There's no potential in it. So then you start shifting yourself from the aspect of, oh, I used to do this and I'm doing this. You're going to come to a point of challenge. You're going to come to a point of challenge. So when somebody's challenging you to say something can't be done, they challenge you to break that barrier. They are a conduit of breaking that barrier. Not to be stuck in it and to prove it. Not to prove that the box is a box, but to break the box. That's why you see that sensation when the internet rappers came up with IG and they famous and shit, streams going crazy. They challenged the box. Whether unconsciously or consciously, don't matter. They challenged the box. Meanwhile, other motherfuckers are still stuck in that box and want you to be inside the box with them. I don't like boxes. Why I want to be inside a box for it? I'm outside of that box. My entire fucking view is outside of a box. Helicopter pad. That shit look nice. I ain't going down there. That shit's still on fire. I listened the other night. I listened to Nightmare Binaurals. I'm getting into Nightmare Binaural beats. They actually have like Nightmare Binaural beats. They trigger nightmares. And that is some of the most trippy meditation on the fucking planet. That's my latest venture. Yeah. That's my latest venture. Like I'm exploring the Nightmare Binaurals because it triggers nightmares. Or it triggers the negative aspects that are within the mind. For me, the first Nightmare Binaural beat that I actually used, it showed me the aspects of things that no longer serve me a purpose. And it was like a giant fucking acid trip. Like if you ever seen like a trailer burn or you see like acid or you see like shit peeling, that's what the shit was. It was like I was seeing images come in front of my face and it was like shit that I dealt with that was peeling away. It was like it was peeling away, falling into like it fell into a like this big ass oversized paper shredder and it was falling into a furnace. And I was waking like the last couple of days. I built a port. I actually got the build a portal in my rooms in the room, and they got I got a selenite crystal sitting on a raised aspect. I got the selenite crystal sitting there in front of the mirror. I got Santa de Muerte sitting beside it, and I got some other choice items there, and that basically became the portal that all negative aspects of energy go into that and get locked in. So I was thinking about Constantine when he was like flipping through the different things and it showed the light and then you had the spirit come out. Mm-hmm. Yeah. What? The Nightmare Binaural beat itself? No, I didn't do it. I didn't make it. I found it on. There's a couple on YouTube. I'm making this announcement so I stay on the task, but I'm working on the mantra music. I'm working on the mantra binaural beat system thing. I actually got all of the stuff. I just got to sit down and actually build the beats on it. Because from the podcast, motherfuckers that listen to the podcast now, like I've just mastered to the level that I am good with the music that I'm doing. So like now I got the other aspect. I already had the binaural rhythms mastered. and then I had to master the music. Now I just mastered the interfacing. So I'm gonna be creating those. I create those things. I create those. I actually have created. I've created ones that I use in sessions, but I haven't created ones for the mass, for the group, for everybody to achieve with. But I'm working on those. A whole bunch of other stuff we're working on. But you building your space to become your nexus. Everything in your space becomes a reflection of your nexus. So now that I have, since I did that, I think I put that altar together on Monday. Since I put that altar together on Monday, shit that's been dropping. Like this room for everything. This shit that's been slipping through the fucking this. I don't even have. Even when a negative thought arises now, it's like it's like it comes up and then it like evaporates. It dies. It's like, bye. I don't want to. It's like it doesn't connect. The shit that falls off. It's like if I took this lighter and threw it and like tried to stick it on myself, it wouldn't stick to me. It's like it doesn't magnify. And that's a key. And when you're getting into your energy and you're doing your energy work, you're trying to get to that level too where the things that used to attach to you are now repelling from you. You'll see that in your beginnings. You'll see that in your beginnings because you're gonna start seeing motherfuckers. Your shadow is gonna start niggas gonna start doing some outlandish shit to you, and you may want to get mad, but it's giving you it's telling you where you need to go. Similar to like when you go into a dream and a motherfucker is standing in front of a like. If you go into your dream, and you like, okay, cool, I'm in my dream, and I got a dog barking at me, or there's someone standing in front of me with a knife, chasing me. Like, no, like there's someone in front of me with a knife, or someone in front of me with something. This ain't happened to me in a long time. Like a dog was standing in front of me, and it's barking. Instead of me trying to get past the dog, after a certain aspect, I would turn around and go to which way the dog was barking. The dog would bark me one way, then there'd be another dog, and then the next dog would bark me the other way. Then another dog would come and it would bark me the other way. So my dogs or my Anubis energies or my hellhounds were pointing me into the direction of my own throne in my lucid aspect. And then this is walking through your dreams. Also a good thing with your dreams and your aspirations and your aspects of what you're telling people. Just like when Bobby Hemmett said, if motherfuckers are arguing, don't eat the fucking food. Stop telling motherfuckers your aspects of your dreams. At this point, stop telling motherfuckers what the fuck you about to do next. And this is the most important part. It's been an important aspect, but going forward, stop telling niggas what the fuck you about to do next. Stop telling niggas that are in negative spaces what the fuck you about to do next. It may be a horrible thing. You like, I don't want to go, but then stop telling them. Wait until you have done it. Wait until you are fully in that space. Wait until you have acquired everything that you need within that space. Because until you do that, you have not fully rooted. You haven't grounded your energy. You haven't grounded that shit yet. You haven't grounded yourself into it. I learned that, and it's crazy that it came up now. I remember when I would tell my mother certain things, and my mother being in that space of that environment, my mother would be in that space of that environment, so she would naturally tell my aunts and other family members that I don't fucking deal with, and I noticed my shit would slow down. I noticed my shit would either slow down or cut the fuck off. That's the aspect of understanding when you read about archons and really get deep into the aspects of like vampire mythology and all these aspects of that shit. That's what they're there for. That's what they serve as. So at a point in time, until you have grounded yourself into what you're doing. That means until I got this gold seal. Let me get this shit. Get my binder from my company. Until I got this seal, y'all can't see it because y'all light on it. But on this seal is my God Occult Alchemist. This the binder that they sent me from my what's called ink. I want to go to a specific page that got yeah. Until I got this God Occult Alchemist LLC, until I got this paperwork that got my shit on it, until I got this, did nobody know? Did nobody, like, no choice people only, in true aspect, only choice people knew about that, about me actually building the brand itself. Because if I told certain individuals certain things, that shit would not do what it was supposed to do. And that's going to be that's that major key in you working and putting your energy into fucking play. It's hard because the natural nigga narrative is to show everything. That natural rhythm is to show everything, but we're showing it before it's actually finished. Stop showing your hand. That's your major key going forward. Like, and that's one of the most important things in your shadow work, because stop showing that something is affecting you, because what the reflection now reads that as, okay, cool, that's what I'm supposed. The program, as you being the programmer, the program now registers, okay, keep doing this. And that's just some simple shit, because like you can sit there and say, you can tell somebody that you don't trust them and then still fuck with them. Why do you still fuck with them? Because now you're telling the program you only trust them up to a certain point. Who was 1102? I think they got 4 in there. Yeah, I do. Drop that. I'd break it down into 3. No. 4. I break it down into 4. Oh. Everybody say, oh shit, that's crazy. Well, certain aspects like that. But yeah, taking yourself Skittles are fucking delicious. Allowing yourself to be able to do this and training yourself to do this allows you to be able to do things outside of the emotional state. You're going to take yourself, heard that 4 is your life path. Am I a 4? I think I'm a 4. I think I am a 4. Can't remember. Yeah. Oh, yeah. This is going to help you training in the aspects of what you're investing your energy into. This is going to help you this is going to be able for you to substantiate building the new boundaries that you are going to need in using your energy as a point of connection, not attachment. Now, the aspect of attachment based on connection. It's easy to say that everybody needs money. Yes, you need money. You need these certain aspects to deal with to sustain in this space. But it's not becoming attached to these things. Becoming attached to needing money, the money that you'll get will basically only materialize based only in the physical manifestation, which is the debt. So you just basically say, I need debt, I need debt, I need debt. That's what you're telling yourself. You need debt. You're switching your mind to be able to be, you're switching your mind into the true investor. Your mind is the investor. Your spiritual is the creator. Your mind is the investor. Your physical is the automaton that is going to cultivate the investment or cultivate the grounds. Spiritual is your creator, you use the stock exchange as that aspect. Your mind is the investor. Your mind becomes your mind is the investor. Your body is the automaton that's used to create and stimulate or cultivate those physical investment, the physical manifestation of the investment. So that's why it becomes important that you're not telling everybody all of your shit, because they're not within the space for you to tell them. This is going to be an important factor for a lot of people. Like, if you want to go tell everybody that you got a new job, and then you think about, now that you got a new job, now everybody wants to ask you about money, or you think about, as soon as I get famous, everybody cousins come out of nowhere. It's because you've allowed the external aspect to tell you about your shit. Keep your shit to your fucking self. It's just like, you'll tell everybody the negative aspects about your man, your chick, or whatever. And then when they see them, they already have a predisposition perception of them. So why is she with them? Or why is he with that person? Or why are you there? Because now that you've programmed your program, now your program is going to show you your honesty. This is what you told it. This is what it does. It's going to repeat on that narrative, based on that body of light, based on what it can take in, based on what you programmed it for. Everything ain't meant to go to the higher levels of you. Remember this. It's going to be your main key. Everything ain't going to the higher levels of you. Family, friends, they don't exist anymore. Your need and want for family and friends is the humanity aspect. Higher aspect, you want soul tribe. You want that soul tribe alignment. You want a higher aspect. You want something higher. You say you deserve something better. Here's your chance to get something better. You say you want to invest into something higher. Here's how you get to invest something higher. That is the aspect of patterns. That's going to be the last thing we're going to get into. That gets into the aspect of patterns. Not once you understand the repetition of the aspect of the pattern that happens within your life, that pattern that comes into that space. Oh, this is the pattern of every time that I come into this space and I think that I need more money, I go back to go do this same. I do this same thing, or I go do this. I aspect another narrative of hope that if I do this enough, this is going to give me what I need over here. This is why a lot of your shit ain't working no more. This is why a lot of your shit ain't working no more, because you're not a lot. It's not that it's not working. It's not that it's not working because on one aspect it's working because it's showing you what you need to see. But on the other aspect, on the higher it's telling you you have to go higher into yourself. So I use the example of numbers. I'll use the example of numbers. When you're looking at 11-11s, 11-12s, and you thinking about, oh my God, I'm gonna go, like old heads always say, you should play this number right here. Whatever number they give you, the next time an old head give you a number, or somebody give you some numbers to go play the number, take the number, add it together, or if it's a 3-digit number, look up the 3-digit correspondence. Always look for research because that's where the information is at. Look for the correspondence. If it's a 4-digit number and you can't find the 4-digit correspondence, add that shit together. Whatever number it comes to, look for that number because that's your sign. This is how you start looking for your signs and everything. That way you can actually start truly being spiritual in all shapes of yourself. You're now understanding the importance of, you're now understanding you are the essence of everything, and you are everything is everything and being everything. This is another thing that's going to shift you This is another thing that's going to shift you into the aspects. Turn that down because that shit got scary. That is another thing that is going to help you shift into your higher abilities of you tapping in. And this is the aspect of building your floor so you can actually live within your spiritual realm. Like I live in my spiritual realm like all the fucking time. I'm always here. This is me, like all the time. Anything that I do outside of this is just enhancing or keeping me on that level. So you just start being in your, you just start living your best life, living your real life, living the real aspects of yourself. The basic aspect. Do you really want to get out? Ask yourself that question. Do you really want to get out? Do you really want to succeed? Do you really want to become the best? Do you really want to become the greatest version of yourself? From that space, two paths will appear in front of you. One path is repeat, and the other path is evolve. The evolution will give you a constant state of clear mirrors, of clear concave mirrors to allow you to keep repeating. On the other end is going to be full of mirrors. So think about a house of mirrors. The next time you actually do a meditation, think about a house of mirrors. Free game. Think about a house of mirrors. The next time you actually meditate, think about a house of mirrors. What do you see inside of these mirrors? Are they scary ass images? Are they shit that you don't want to see? From that point in time, you choose which mirror you want to focus on. And then you're going to keep walking forward. This is going to take you out of the nocebo effects of your life and help you shift into the placebo effect. The placebo effect is going to be your internal. As you rise, more and more shit in your old aspects of life is going to be negative because you're rising. Remember, negative, you got to go through the negative to rise to that positive aspect, to that top tier of yourself. This is your skill. This is your true heart. Your heart is your true mind. Your heart is your true mind. I lost it. Wait. Tacos. Okay. Yeah. So where do you want to be? Where do you want to be? Where do you want to go? The ultimate end game is getting out of it. This the golden age. This the aspect you getting out of it. But how are you leaving? What are you going to program? Have you started actually programming what is going to be after this? That's going to be a key. I was saying something. That was it. But this is that question answer period. Any questions? You can drop the question in. They ain't gotta be on the subject of what you call it. Any questions? If you have a question about something that you've been dealing with in your shadow work, any works that you doing in that aspect, you drop that in the comment section. This week's episode of the podcast was the Axiom Effect. It was the pairing to this, the perfect pairing wine to go with the lecture for the night. Yeah. As always, I want you to be the fucking best. I want you to be the fucking best. I want you to graduate. I want you to go to the next level. I need it's a it's not a need, it's a desire. I desire you to be the fucking best aspect of yourself because that is the reflection of where we're at. You could be anywhere right now, but you tune in every Friday. Much gratitude for that. Some of you I've worked with closely in works for you. Others coming into that narrative for that space. But there's a reason that you're in the space that you're in, and it's supposed to challenge you to go to your next level, challenge you to get to your better self. But you got to be humble and honest with yourself. That aspect of honesty, that key factor is going to be that honesty, and that honesty is going to allow yourself to be within that transparent space, to have that transparency, to see the things as they need to be seen, not as you envision them based upon the trauma, the shadow work that you need to do. Stay tuned because classes are coming. I'm gonna start doing the shadow work classes in mid next year. We're working on the shadow work classes, putting that stuff together. Chakra charging. I do have a chakra stressing class that I actually do. A lot of other things are in the works. The meditation, the new mantra musics, the isotones that I'm working on. A lot of stuff is coming up. Yeah. What else? There was something else. Interested in a reading? 910-777-7708. That's the direct line. You can hit me at papalucy666 @gmail.com. You can DM me on Instagram at papa_lucy666. Inbox me at Rockholonegis on Facebook. Follow me on Twitter at GuyKing84. Or you type in Papa Lucy 666 and I'll come up on Twitter. Yeah. Sometimes you feel like I sometimes feel like I don't have the problems that I should have. Maybe I am in denial. I feel like I'm doing the work, but I'm not. But I'm not afraid, or it's like it's easy. And I feel like maybe doing. You don't feel like you have any worries. I mean, that's a good aspect. Like you could be. What problem? Like, what problems do you feel like you should have? What problems do you feel like you should have? Like, that's a better question. Are there aspects of what things, are there any repressed things that you have repressed that you don't remember? Are there any events in your life that you have repressed into that thought process? That would be the better question. That is the key, not to be worried about anything. That is a major key. But because like what that sounds like, it sounds like you're worried about being worried. Ugh. Yeah, you might. Yeah, if you feel free, then like don't question the feeling of feeling free. Really ask yourself, like the next, like really ask yourself, because the ultimate goal is not to feel worry, not to be in this aspect of like you have that the aspect of nirvana, and then from there it's just building. From there is this whatever you feel that it's your purpose and your gift to build upon. That's what you build upon. That's a good thing. Your aspect is the aspect of it's hard for other people. It's hard for them because they haven't accepted a certain part. When you're looking at that, when you're seeing the reflections of it's being hard for other people and it's not resonate, if it's not resonating with you, like you're getting stuck, that you don't feel like any stuck points. It's this is you're seeing a constant reflection of like, I don't feel that. I don't see that. Like for myself, like I don't see things. I just don't feel things. Like I don't have this aspect. I don't have any boundaries of judgment towards anyone. Like if somebody says something, I'm like, all right, cool, you're good. Yeah. Like I have an understanding and a compassion of understanding the line of what it may be. Like for me, as being an occultist and the psychologist and all the stuff that I do, that's mainly what I work on. That's mainly what I see. So it's like I can see these certain hurt aspects. So it just sounds like for you, what it sounds like is you're in a space to where working on is like unlocking or tapping into like what talent or what your purpose is. Like, what is your purpose? Because now that you have this understanding for yourself, yeah, you're not. I mean, you're truly not supposed to care about what the other person is doing. That is that key aspect. So for you, it would be what is your gift? What is your you've advanced to a point for yourself to now you can work on your gift or your talent for yourself in your purpose. You went past that part. You're past the part now. Now all that's left for you is this abundance to build. Now you have when you reach the point of like the no worry, the no care, and now it's your aspect of what are you building upon that. What are you building to reflect that narrative and that nature of yourself? That card just keeps coming up. Well, I just shuffled through these cards twice, 3 times, and what's next? What's next is your building. Your key aspect when you get to the point when you find out that worry free, you're in that space. The next space is the start. The next space is your building. So, like right now, I just dropped out the 9 of Swords. The 9 of Swords represents the aspects of cutting away from the aspect of the illusion. You're almost out of it into the next level. So now, when you're thinking about building, that's when you actually are sitting with. That's when you're sitting in that space with yourself. Like for me, I knew based on what I studied in the beginnings of myself when I was trying to find out, I just wanted to understand my mind, the aspects of psychology. When I found the other half of psychology in the traditional form is like the exoteric aspect, and the occult is the esoteric aspect. As they came together, everything made sense. So for me, I always knew what I'm doing right now is what I'm supposed to be doing. So in order to find out what you're supposed to be doing, what I would do is like, well, I do the shadow readings. The shadow readings, the Cosmic record readings, doing that life path reading. I actually do a life path reading. Once you get to that point, you do the light. We'll do the light. You do a life path. You find some. You'll do a life path reading, and it lines out. It basically lays out what aspects that you should be working into and what you should be tapping into. But that's going to be the key. Once you reach this point, like that point of nirvana, that point of balance. Yeah, that's a good thing. Yeah, it's basically you're building into your purpose. Whatever sticks out is my best way to explain that. That's actually the actual key. That's actually the fucking key that's actually the actual key to the balance of being balanced. Is like you can just move through life in those parameters. But yeah, the main key for Nika throwing that. So what's that and use that, and then what's next? You build upon it. Everything that you're doing is to build upon, to go to the next, to build upon for your own next level for yourself. Remember, you're stepping out of the aspects of what it was. Because for me, I've told this story before. My story for me was like, I thought I was going to be a dead end restaurant manager or a restaurateur. And then I was like, nigga, I don't think I'm going to come back here through. And what the what word are you spelling? I thought you said and poo for a second. I pull a card every day and it AURPU. I pull a card every day. When you pull the cards, when you pull a card, that's your focal. That's your card is your focal point for the day. So like, if right now, if I pull the Ace of Coins, I pull the Ace of Coins. Ace of Coins represents the aspects of my abundance being psyched. I would focus on where my abundance is and my new growth is with every ace. Or if I pull, let's say, for example, I just pulled the Five of Wands. The Five of Wands in the tattoo deck. Yeah, it's supposed to, because you don't want, this is the main key factor when it comes to knowledge for yourself and gaining new information. If it's not taking you to challenge your thought, it's not knowledge. It's not information. It's not going to feed your thirst. So when you pull a card, be from Oracle decks to me that's pulling this Five of Wands. Five of Wands aspects, this is the aspects of conflicts with my heart. So as I'm looking at this card, I'm looking at what would be the conflicts of my heart's path, where I'm at in my life. That's what I'm focusing on. So I'm putting that energy into the card, like, what's the focus that I need to look at as I'm looking at this card and I'm studying this card as the heart, as two hearts within it. So there's a conflict or something that's a conflict of decision for my heart, where I need to be at, what I need to be doing. That's what's going to help me. And I have to find this new intimacy inside myself. Or if, like, let's say I pull, for example, I pulled the Seven of Swords. The Seven of Swords represents holding on to old weight. And the Six of Swords, I like how they both just came out. So if I pull this spread in separation, I pull this spread for somebody. Somebody is having conflicts with their heart. A conflict with their heart of letting go of something. Their energy is tied away in a conflict of their heart, where their heart and their mind should now just be. They feel that through the six, I pulled the seven first. The Seven of Wands is holding on to the things that are bringing the conflicts to my heart. No. Did it backwards. Yeah, I actually did it right. These are the aspects of the conflicts that are now destroying my intimacy to my power in my heart. Then I would flip to the Six of Swords, which that is affecting my power and me being able to embrace my power. So me doing that reading and interpretation for that, that would be that aspect of what in your life right now at this point in time, I'm taking this off. Okay. What in your life at this point in time is not good for what burden on your heart is in difficulty for you to let go of? In that space of you keep going back to it because it's been an aspect of your life for so long that now that you have to separate away from it, not in the aspects of separating away from it in cutting it off, but you're separating yourself away from it so that space can be created so you can now walk. So now you can actually start working on tapping it, using your power for the actual aspects you're supposed to use it for. And then let's say the next card can pull off. The Empress. Love the Empress card. The Empress card is all about the aspects of embracing your energy and embracing your power and embracing your influence, embracing that nurturing aspect of nurturing yourself so you can rise. As you see, she holds a shield and a scepter, and she has wings. She is embracing and it's time for you to embrace and allow yourself to be the true aspect of you. That's the only way that you're going to be able to go forward. You have to embrace these aspects and being honest with yourself. This is the only way you can actually set those boundaries. Or setting those boundaries will allow you to acquire and actually embody the abundance through the King of Wands, the King of Coins, embody and take and hold control of your power. You have power. You have a source of power that for a long time has been eschewed. All spirits coming through on that one. You've had a sense of time where your power has been eschewed because you've had to use it to sustain survival. You're no longer in survival. You're now growing into your sustaining. So now that you're growing into this aspect of sustaining, now you're like, how do I sustain? This is what I was saying earlier in it. The spirit is going to put you back to where the tools that you've learned along your path in your growth, it's going to be hard because it's a lot of letting go. Remember, it's that image. Remember what I talked about earlier. It's your image that everything has been reflected through. Now this image is now falling. Now that you're seeing your image for what it actually is, you can be seeing your image as the traumas and the hurts that build it up. Now that you're acknowledging these things, your image is going to start warping. As your image starts warping, your environment's going to start warping to fit your environment based upon your ego is going to start warping to make it to keep it sustaining itself. So you're going to see things in your life. You're going to see things right now in your path right now where I can guarantee where you're going to see, like when I was talking about earlier, I don't know if you kicked in earlier during the top of this lecture. But things are gonna start doing outlandish things in the space, not based on good and bad, based on positive and negative, that are gonna show you, because the Six of Wands represents the aspects of burnt, those things that are the things that are stabbing you in your heart and hurt, taking your energy away. So look at the things in your life that are based on codependency, that are codependent based on your energy, that are aspects of codependent. That means in order for you to sustain yourself in your image, to be what you were, the codependency is something has to see you as that way. So now that you're separating as by that card and you're embracing that energy through that Empress card, through the Empress, and you're starting to embody and encapsulate your energy, the Six of Coins represents the aspect. I think I'm gonna start doing more collective readings. The Six of Coins is the aspect of that new message, that new energy, that new energy, that new aspect, that messenger of your new energy. Your energy is going to be, once you start embracing this aspect of yourself, that Empress owning your shit, you'll be able to move in that knowledge. It's only once you embrace what you need to nurture, to let the nurturing and letting go of, based upon that 6 and that 7, that you're going to be able to actually hold that energy. That's where your message is going to be. That's where your new energy, your abundance is going to be. You're in the space where you need to be at. You're doing the work that you need to do. It's this time to continue to work. It's going to be that you're looking for the shit that's taking you outside of where you used to be at. You're looking for that. That's that thirst, that natural thirst that we all have anyway. That natural thirst that you have. That natural thirst that you have is now being used in a higher level. Don't allow it to come back down here. And I can pull that because I see that through temperance. Temperance is the aspect of that temperament, what you're now standing on. You need to have this aspect. This is another aspect of transparency. Temperance is another aspect of transparency. You need to be able to see it for what it is. The individuals, entities, the things that are in your life, are they reflections of your growth? Are they reflections that you're going to grow to, or are they remnants of your past? That's where that temperance is going to come from. You're going to need to be able to sound that horn and be like, you know what? That's not working for me no more. That's not working for me no more. That's not my thing. It's not me. It's not organized. It's not organized the way I'm organizing my life. I'm trying to get rid of, the more things that you put, remember, you have to become empty to become fulfilled. So you can't come into this space full. You're going to come into the space with your healing, shadow work and everything. You're going to come in full, but you're going to empty yourself. You have to allow yourself to become empty. That's like whenever you think about a detox. Detox is the physical manifestation of you actually cleansing your body out. That detox is needed because everything's going to come out in that detox. I remember doing my first detox before I went vegan. It was turmeric and like these other hard ass fucking herbs that I was taking. Whole toilet yellow. I was at my mom's house because my little sister and my niece wanted me to wake up with them on Christmas. And I was like, all right, cool. Whole toilet full yellow. I laid in the bed. I was laying on the floor. My pops came in there and looked at me. He was like, Pops helped me up. Laid in the bed. Brought me some water. I just laid there. 2 days, for 3 days, I was asleep, which was actually a very symbolic moment for me because I became Lucifer after this day. The day I became Lucifer, or took on my Lucifer archetype. 3 days later, rose up like Jesus out the grave. Went in there and cooked I cooked my vegan dinner. Cooked my vegan Christmas. But yeah, the Knave of Coins. The Knave of Coins is the aspect of any of the knaves. Whenever you see a knave pulled in a card, this is also a teaching moment. Whenever you see a knave pulled into a pull, a knave stands for the aspect of immaturity. If it's upside down, it's immaturity. That means you made immature mistakes. But it's just, I just pulled the shit right side up. This is the aspect of nurturing and planning with this new energy. The new things that you're coming into, these are your new tools. These are new tools that are going to lead you into your new gifts. As I'm sitting here, you hold this Knave of Coins, you're going to have a new sense of energy. You're having a new surge of energy that it's time for you to work with. It's time for you to meditate with this. It's time for you to increase into meditations, increasing whatever you're doing now based on your higher self. This is your best. This card symbolizes you to continue doing it. It's working. It's in path. Do not expect, especially now that I want to say Saturn's in retrograde with Mercury. Look at your chart. Yeah, I can go further. Your middle point, that's also perfect with the Knave. The middle point is where you're at now. Right now, you are in the point. Right now, you are more likely in the point where on this side is everything that you did, friends, family, job, all of this other stuff over here, your table of contents. And on this side is everything that's new. So everything that you're doing now, from meditation, pulling your daily cards, actually sitting there taking time to actually meditate on your things, meditate. That Knave stands for this aspect. You're getting more into that middle point is your childlike state, allowing yourself to be able to imagine and create. So when you're sitting in that space, this is going to also help you acknowledge patterns. Biggest thing about acknowledging patterns is having transparency. Being honest with yourself. Take one aspect of when you do a meditation, focus on a family member. Take a family member, friend, whatever it is. Focus on them. You're going to be focusing on them to gain transparency and open yourself to the clarity of what they stood for based in your past. And could they even exist with the energy that you're coming into now in your future sense? They've been dropping bombs over here all fucking day. That's the aspect of that Knave card. The centering yourself is building in your transparency. Looking at these other cards that I pulled out, that energy, the burdens on your heart, that would be something that you would focus on. Whatever's on your heart that's based upon your past, that table of contents behind you, that's what you focus on now. So any issues, anything that's proven problematic in the aspect that you have an answer for it, that it doesn't resonate with you, those are the things that you're going to start letting go of. So if it's in a space, and this comes hard for shadow work for people whenever I tell people about family, the family aspect. If something's in your life that is perpetuating based upon trauma, and if it resonates with you, find out how it resonates with you. That's always going to be your major key. Finding out how it resonates with you. How does this issue from this person in this space reflect to me? Censor myself, have honesty with myself. Whatever I not dealt with, this is also how you open up yourself to the correspondence. Because within inside you is going to be the corresponding rhythm, not based on the image, but on the energy. Yeah, your shadow is going to start showing you out. Your shadow is going to be some outlandish shit. Your shadow is going to start showing you some outlandish shit, and it's going to make you your shadow now, especially with the 5D energy coming through. Beetlejuice came through and shit. With this new energy from this 5D shit, it's going to force you to make boundaries. It's going to force you to make boundaries that at a point in time back in your past you weren't going to make. It's going to force you to make those. It's going to force you to set that boundary to be like, I can't do this, but this is what I can do. And that's going to help you set that acceptance of you being able to stand by that without guilt. I can do this, but I can't do this. It isn't about being good or bad. It's being about what serves you. Because ultimately what serves you is going to serve the other person. It's going to serve whatever other person, individual, place, whatever it may be. It brings you, yeah. Letting go. I'm loving these questions. Letting go in the aspect for yourself. Letting go. When people think of letting go, they think of this just like when people think about honesty and truth and all trust and all that shit. When you're thinking about letting go, it's not letting go in the aspect of I can forget about it or repressing it. When people think about letting go, what they're actually doing most times in their shadow work is repressing it. I'm gonna let this go and I don't have to deal with it anymore. Letting go in the truest aspect of your shadow work is allowing it to come to the surface so it is on that table. I always use the example. 1 second. Letting go in that aspect, lost the whole train. Yeah, I'm back. Letting go, had to get another bottle of water. I'm going to use a story. Letting go. I had my brother I knew for like 10, 12, fucking 13 years. Love my brother to death. Like, still got unconditional love. This aspect of going unconditional love. My brother was in a space where he's still in that space, and that's his space. He's grown. He's matured in that space. The problem was, well, what didn't serve the purpose anymore was I've always been the crossroads. You say crossroads demon. I've always been the crossroads. So you can sit here in a space with me. My thing was trying to keep everybody around me good, keep everybody at peace, not allow them to go through their shit by themselves and all that shit. For him, he had a whole aspect where like every time I would go over there, it would be the same exact story. Man, she don't cook, she don't do this, she don't do none of this. I was like, bro, you gotta learn how to do that shit yourself. She's not gonna do it because you're giving her aspects of her not doing it. And in that moment, finish telling the story. After about the 5th or 6th time I went over there and we had this same conversation, we just stopped talking. We just stopped talking. We just stopped really talking and stopped really dealing with each other. And like, it wasn't on no malice type shit or like no badass breakup, like broke apart. Still holler at him every once in a while, like every once in a blue moon. But it was an aspect of the space was no longer conducive for me. When in that space being opened up, that letting go process, as I'm seeing him doing everything that he said. I remember my brother did everything that he said that he was going to get. He has did it. in that physical form. Like he wanted F-150 Harley Davidson edition, he got it. He wanted a Charger, 2 Chargers, he got them. He's gotten everything that he got based on the work that he put in. So for me, that was a training exercise for me. And seeing him doing that is actually, that was 10 years. That was like almost 10 years ago, him doing that aspect, and seeing him now doing that same thing. Instead, I have an unconditional understanding of that space. Like, damn, he's still, now I'm understanding because I'm separated from it to see what I needed to see within that space. No, I'm gonna use another story in an example. I always talk about my mother and people like that, but I had another had another brother, another member to the brotherhood. I told him every single day. I gave him game every single day. I remember when we were meet back up in that space and tone, what he would repeat back to me would be things that I already had told him. So I knew it was taking root within inside of him, but it was a separation that was needed because there was things that he didn't deal. There was things that he did not deal with up until that point. Me always being there as the mediator, it gave him comfort in the complacence, for him to be complacent. I told him about time. I gave him aspects about time. This is all about the level of consciousness for people with light. I gave him aspects about time. I gave him aspects on time, reflection. Gave him mad game. But once the seeds were planted, I had to separate myself. Once I said what I needed to say, I had to separate myself. Every once in a while, I'll send him a text message, make sure he's good. He send me a text message, make sure he's good. But other than that, his path is where he's at. My path is where I'm at. There is not an aspect of, when people think about letting go, there's this heart-wrenching, grieving feeling of what is actually the identity no longer existing. It's your identity no longer exists. Like, what is that? Yes, complacency is the ultimate killer, because if you're complacent, you're comfortable. If you're comfortable, everything that is in that space, you find an excuse for it to be comfortable, for you to be comfortable within it. A motherfucker can be spirit kicked on that shit. A motherfucker can be comfortable. Yeah, exactly. They got to walk through it themselves. Bringing into that space, a motherfucker can be complacent on being broke because they like what they get from being broke. But until they realize the reason that they like being broke is an aspect of them being broken somewhere, they'll never become unbroke. They'll never become wealthy. We'll say that. They'll never become wealthy. So if I'm comfortable in the default of struggling, because struggling makes me want to grind, it makes me want to, I'm a grind and I'm a hustle because I came from struggle. The default is struggle. So you're always going to be struggling through your grind. So then you're reacting to the struggle. So you think you're being productive in acquiring the physical representations of money or whatever it may be, and you may think that you're doing super fucking good, but you realize that this shit never stays. It's because your default is struggle. Your default is within the struggle. That old axiom, that old line is on struggle. So as long as my mind is within struggle, it's always aligned to me grinding. That means that point going in and out within, as above, so below, as that shit keeps corresponding. I always got to go back to a point of struggle in order for me to actually do any work. I got to struggle to make ends meet. That way, when I start making the ends meet, I don't know what to do after the ends meet. That's the aspect when you were talking about what's next after that. Once I have conquered my aspect of why my original struggle came into play, why I do not want to look like struggle, what struggle means to me, not the definition based for other people, but for you. What does struggle mean for you? That's the aspect of defining these shits for yourself. What does struggle mean for you? Once you define that, you can unlock that energy within that and actually place that into aligning yourself into what would be the grinding or your hustle. Your grind or your hustle is now you redefine your grind and your hustle as a constant state of being, well, for myself, would be a constant state of being uncomfortable, never being comfortable, never being lax. Always got to find myself in my disciplines, find a new discipline, find something to create. That's my aspect of grinding and hustle. I'm in alignment now. Now I've defined my grinding and hustle is now alignment. Now that I'm in a constant state of alignment, I'm in a thirst to feed my alignment, as opposed to me feeding my thirst to struggle. Because if I'm feeding my thirst to struggle, I wouldn't give a lecture like this. If I was in a grind for struggle, I wouldn't give a lecture like this. I would talk about struggle the entire time. Yo, you know, our people, you know, we came from this, right? We came from slavery, and ever since they had us in them chains, we've been in chains our entire lives. Nigga, that's all common sense shit that's already written out. That's the history. But what led you to being within the chain? The chain is the physical manifestation. What is the spiritual aspect of it? Let's get back to the spiritual aspect of this information. That's the key to getting the affirmation, making that definition for yourself. Pull energy. Yeah, you do. Meditation is meditation is that top key. Meditation is the one of the major disciplines for it because it allows you to do everything that you do when you pull a card. So as I'm sitting here, like let's say we sitting here in this space, and I did earlier, I said the thing about mirrors. If I sit here in this space, like if I hold my hand up, I see rings and shit in my fucking eyes anyway. My whole mind is different. But if I'm sitting in this space, I'm like, okay, cool. I'm sitting in my space. Take a deep breath in. Breathe out. I know my first 3 breaths are my prime to prime my system. I say something. You can magic it. Whatever you put your whatever term. Once you understand, this is another understanding with your magic. Once you understand your energy to that level, and you understand magic, and you understand that your words are your spells and everything to that nature, and you work on that, you can use anything in your mind as you create the discipline for it, such as I can sit here with my eyes closed and say, mirror, mirror on the wall, or mirror, mirror in my mind. Show me what's ready. Show me what to deal. Show me how to deal at this time. And I sit there in that meditation state. My subconscious, my ego is now working for my conscious is now working for me. So it's now sitting in that space and it's like, this is what you have to look at. What pops up on that frame, in that mirror, in that frame is what you got to work at. It can be a person, place, things. It's okay. It's all right. But put yourself into that space and now you're like, okay, mirror, mirror on the wall. What I need, like mirror, mirror in my mind. What do I need to determine at this time? Simply into that aspect. A good mantra to begin shadow work. There's so many. I've made so many different good mantras for your shadow work. The best question for that is like, okay, the best question for that is, where are you at in your work? Where are you at in your level? Because some of the best mantras to unlocking, if you want to work on childhood trauma, the best mantra that you would say to yourself, there's all mantras, there's all types of mantras, but the mantra you say for yourself, the mantra that you would say to yourself, the mantra that you say to yourself in your shadow work is based on what point that you want to work into. So if you have childhood trauma or an issue, something that's came up like recent, like look at where you're at now recently in your state where you're at, and that becomes your mantra. You'll break it down. So I'll say, like, I'll use an example like childhood trauma. Like if I'm showing if I'm showing somebody how to tapping into their inner child, we go into the meditative stance. We sit there, do the breath. We do the breath work. And I'll say something like, I'll use the mirror aspect. Mirror in my mind. Show me 5. And I focus on the number 5. I focus on the year 5. I focus on my birthday. You start focusing on these aspects. So you start repeating to yourself the day you were 5. You start repeating the mantra of, for me, I was 5 in 1997. Whenever I was 5. So I'll just throw out a random time. So I'll say May 5th, May 5th, May 5th, May 5th. May 5th, May 5th, May 5th. I am May 5th, I am May 5th, I am May 5th. I would put that program, I am is the first key part. And then followed by I am broken, or I am hurt. I am this. I am this. I am. You say the positive aspect. I am a God. I am a God. I am a God. I am a God. Childhood traumas. See, that's spirits of that shit. So, like, you would focus on a point. You would focus on a point of a childhood trauma. You would look at like the best aspect. First meditation, you sit there and you just imagine, you go back to that time. You're going to set that mantra, I am 5, I am 5, or whatever age that you want to pinpoint. I am 5, 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 I am 5. As you're doing this, you're also setting the tone of, since I am 5, the smells of when I was 5, the scenery of when I was 5, the smell, the sounds. You start focusing in as you're saying, I am 5, I am 5, I am 5. All of it, you start focusing on these aspects and bringing your mind to that space. You allow it to do it. What's going to happen is the childhood trauma up to this point that matriculates where you're at now, or for not knowing. Wait, what? I closed my eyes and saw a whole nother thing. Forgiveness of yourself, maybe for a beginning mantra. I am forgiveness. You would say, yeah, like you would program, it would be, I am forgiveness. 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 As you, because whatever mantra you're starting to set, the natural thing that's going to come up are the things that you need to forgive yourself of. So setting that same tone, I am forgiveness. I am forgiveness. I am forgiveness. And you sit there in that silence as you're saying, you're not saying it out loud. You can say it out loud, say it to yourself, whatever it resonates with you. And you're sitting there in that space. Give yourself as long as you need. Set that time for yourself to give yourself as long as you need. And sit there in that space. I am forgiveness. 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 In you, it will activate the things that you need to forgive yourself for. It's going to bring up that, it's going to start bringing it to the surface. I am forgiveness. I am forgiveness. As you're saying it, your subconscious is taking it in, and then your conscious mind is now open. So you're saying I am forgiveness. Now your subconscious is searching for things to forgive yourself about. It is going to bring up the natural aspects of what you need to work on. As it comes up, you focus on it coming up, whether it be remember the same sight, the smells, the sounds of that space of where you were at when that moment happened. Allow that to come to that surface, and then you're bringing that to the forefront. You're bringing that to the forefront. So you're holding this, now you're holding it. This is what I need to forgive about myself. What about this? Then this is the aspect of the study. Then everything from it can be writing it down. One good thing is the suicide note. I do a suicide note session in a suicide note. You write down the aspect of what you are letting go of in detail. You are detailing the events that happened that you are now forgiving yourself for. You're writing down the feelings. You're writing down the feelings, the thoughts, the fears. You're writing down everything in great detail in this letter to yourself. You start this letter by saying, dear, for Rez and Nika, you'll write, dear Nika, or dear Rez, like your childhood whatever childhood aspect where you're at, you'll put that beside it. You write this letter. I am forgiving you for not having the information that I have now. I'm forgiving you for the information that you do not have now. The information, the knowledge that I have now is what's going to help us be able to move past this point. You write this detailed letter to yourself. At the end, you say, I apologize. I'm taking over now. Take that letter, put it under your pillow. You can put it under your pillow for that night because it's going to allow that energy to go into that space, that thought process. You're going through this whole ritual. You're allowing yourself to sleep it off. So you're allowing what you're doing what you're doing in this interface is you're putting your 5-year-old self to bed. You're allowing them to rest. You're allowing them to sleep, because as you allow them to sleep, you're allowing your childhood to actually rest. So when you rise, that childhood aspect is now free for you to use. Then grab a candle, cauldron, whatever it may be, grab a fire safe dish, go outside, light it, let it burn away. As you're focusing on this flame, as it's burning away, you're focusing all of that aspect to that. That's the beginning aspect, because now that you have released that energy, you've released yourself from that Sifra, everything that's in reflection of that is going to show itself. This is where the test of your challenge is going to come in. So now you're going to be sitting in that space like, oh shit. Now you're going to start seeing things that are in your life that are in direct reflection of said trauma. It could be the person that initiated the trauma. It can be, it can be the direct person that initiated the trauma. That this is that ending phase of the forgiveness. I forgive you. Until you're able to speak those words, I forgive you. I'm sorry, I forgive you. That closes that the fuck? I can't think of the word. That closes that point. It closes that point. And now that's when you're free from it. Just because you're free from it, though, it does not mean that the work is over. because now that you've exposed this energy, that is no problem, no problem, no problem. Also, if you need any type of assistance, you can email me. You can hit up God. You can actually, we can set up a consultation, and we can build upon there. With a consultation, every consultation I do, it starts with a shadow reading. A shadow reading is the aspects of what you need to accept in this point, what you need to forgive at this point, what you need to release at this point, what you need to release, learn, what you will learn at this point, where you will find your healing and recovery, and where you'll find your help. So, like, if you're interested in doing it, you're interested in setting up a consultation to help you with your shadow work, if you need that aspect. And because it's always good to have I play the role as that mediator while we're doing that work for you. So, like, yeah, everything's within the description. No, it actually is not in the description. But Gotico Alchemist LLC. Actually, I'm gonna put this shit in there. I'm going to type in some things because I didn't type them into the earlier, because y'all saw what happened. // What's the word? G-O-D-OCCULT ALKHEMIST LLC.com. Is that right? Yep, that's it. Boom. That is my that's the website for my services. I'm also gonna put in the number for everybody because I ain't been doing that lately. 910 777 7708. Yep, you can hit the website, hit the number, and also because I wanted to put that in there, I keep forgetting to put that shit in there. Cool. Oh, that's right. Gratitude. Cause that's gonna be the major key. Cause everybody I don't like when motherfuckers be like, man, it's all about yourself, man. You gotta find that shit in yourself. Nigga, we all need the aspects. Some of us don't have the aspect because we haven't been in that space yet to actually be able to go further inside of ourselves. I did a reading for y'all. Yeah. Everything's up in there. Everything from the number, the website. When I redo the description, I'll put everything in the description. Everybody has a chance to be fucking great. I love the questions. I love that build after this. What else about to say? What time is it? Ooh, child. Things are gonna be easier. No, it's not. All right, cool. That's gone. But yeah, email, text. I just want you to be fucking great. Yeah, I just want you to be fucking great. I want you to be fucking awesome. Y'all have actually given me my wind down time, which is also a great fucking thing. Also, yeah, be fucking great. Be the best that you can fucking be. The best in you. Today is the only day that matters. That's why I made that fucking spell that I put in the fucking podcast. Today is the only day that matters. You are the only one that matters because everything is a reflection of you. Everything, every day outside of this day is a reflection of you. Once you embrace the crosshairs, you're able to pinpoint and knock out the shit that you need to knock out and make yourself get to the best level of yourself. It's lit. That's what I'm gonna say. It's the greatest shit ever. Once you actually start tapping into this shit. What was I about to say? That's about it. But yeah, I'm gonna bang out my bag of Skittles, drink another bottle of water. And oh yeah, anybody that follows me on Facebook at Rock Hollow Nijas, I'm gonna have that in the description as well. We might bring back Sunday service. Sunday service. Papa Lucy Sunday service. Might bring back Sunday service this Sunday. Got time this week. Bring back Sunday service. Sunday service, I'm going to be incorporating a collective reading and free and readings through that on live. So yeah, stay tuned for more information on that. You're stepping out of the old and stepping into your higher of your new. You're going away from the thoughts of a human, the humanity, and you stepping into the aspects of your higher self, your God self, your natural birthright. Your birthright is to be the higher aspects of yourself. There's no problem. Knock that shit out. Become the best. Become what it is that you desire. Blessed be to the night. May it be everything that you desire to align yourself to everything that you require. I love you. We love us. Ashe. Yes.